I'm going to record on this computer.
All right.
I don't know.
All right. Do we have a countdown? What do we do? Hello, everybody.
What's going on?
I'm Steph,
I'm also Steph.
and welcome to the Drop Everything Now podcast, episode
34?
question mark 33, 34.
I think 34, but I could be wrong. Um, do you feel really weird? Like I feel really
About.
weird because I'm in a different space.
Oh, we're both in different setups.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in the office, and you're in your living room area.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just felt like even though it's gonna get dark out, I'm just in a better lighting space. I have more desk space. Like I feel confined when I'm in my bedroom.
totally agree. There's
And
more,
it
I'm
just,
more open here. I
yeah.
that's why I'm out here too.
And you know what? I might keep doing this when we do Zoom because guess what? Not only is it episode potential, is it 34?
34.
34, like Taylor's age, current age, but also happy 3 years of the podcast. I guess like we can like just say this is like
Yeah.
season three,
Season 3.
episode one of season three, but like episode 34.
Love it.
Season
Yeah,
three,
that's right.
episode
It's
one.
honestly crazy that it's been 3 years.
Yeah, because like obviously we have 34 episodes, like we're doing like a little less than one a month, I guess technically, if you look at it that way. But then sometimes it's more than once a month. It's just like
Yeah, we're just all over the
by
place.
necessity.
We can't really figure it out.
Yeah, but it's all right because we're just doing it for
Yeah,
ourselves.
it's just for
We like
fun.
just for fun. Well, guys, it is Tuesday.
Hmm.
So Tuesday night, I mean, you guys, this will probably be up by like Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
The date, and so Tortured Poets comes out this Friday. We are just less than 3 days away from listening to the album. And oh, there's so much going on. There's so
So
much going on
much.
that it feels like nothing's going on
I know. And
almost.
it feels like because obviously we've known about it for like a little over 2 months now because she announced it at the Grammys. And I feel like everything was super like chill, not much going on with it. And then all of a sudden, just like so much is happening this week. And I get it, it's release week, but still, like it feels like there was nothing. And I was like, wow, we're not going to get any sort of like promo for this album, clearly. And then all of a
Right.
sudden, like the last few days, it's been like, oh, here we go.
Right. There's like so much, but still nothing though. Like there's not really like a lot of promo, but I guess like it makes sense. She doesn't need to promote it because of how like yes, of course there's like the little things that she's posting, but there's no singles obviously that have come out, so more of a Folklore Evermore, but those were dropped right away. Um did Midnight's didn't have a single before either, right?
Mm-mm.
No, like the track list just kind of came out. Of course, I guess the rollout of the bonus tracks was a little bit, but that was during the tour. It was like
Yeah.
not, it was official, but not official. Like there isn't a typical promo, but one, I think maybe that's the way that the world's moving. And two, she doesn't really need to right now because she herself is so promoted that everybody's watching
Yeah.
every move that she makes with her like personal life, that I feel like maybe that's part of the reason that she decided to go this route. Like, why I'm just not going to give anything because right now my life is promotion enough for like getting
Yeah. And
people's
I mean,
eyes on the album.
right. And when you think about it, like, she didn't really, obviously, Folklore and Evermore, she was just like, here you go. Like, no
Right.
promotion. And then with Midnights, she did the Midnights Mayhem stuff, but that was it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, until again, like for a couple days before when she was like, here's the agenda for the next few days, like,
Right.
there
The
wasn't really.
agenda. But I guess just the slow rollout of each of the track titles felt
Yeah.
like more.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
Because you had time to like sit with everything and like, okay, here's a new one. And it like built the anticipation versus like but was the track list for Tortured Poets leaked?
I
Is
think so,
that why
yes.
we ended up getting it all? I
Right. So
wonder if
I don't
she
know if
had
she had any
something.
plans to
Yeah.
release it in a certain way, but I believe it was leaked. That's what I saw
Yeah.
online after it came out. But still, I just
It's weird.
it's like we were saying this right before we started recording. I remember like for Midnights or ever like 1989, like any other album, like Lover. I was just it consumed all my thoughts and like excitement, and I'm so excited for this album too. I'm not trying to take away from that, but like, and I've been talking about it nearly every single day, but because other people are asking me about it, like
Hmm.
I haven't been thinking of it much on my own, but maybe it's because of the lack of promotion. I don't know what it is, but I feel like this just feels different. Maybe it's because me and you aren't going to be together, so
I
we're not
know
like,
that could be too. So like we're not planning.
yeah, I'm not like, oh, what should I get for like when we get together and like
Right.
we're gonna and
Like,
how are we
should
gonna
we
live?
do
Like
our
it's
nails? Should we? Yeah. Like
right,
maybe that's part of it. I also wonder if part of it is like I think we're all expecting a sad album,
yeah,
a heartbreaker. And we didn't feel that like we didn't get to like be like, oh boy, folklore and evermore are kind of gonna be sad.
right. We
Like
didn't
we
have
didn't
time to think.
know. Yeah, it just was like, hey, it's coming out at midnight. Listen. You didn't have time to like be process that like this isn't like a like we're gonna be sad.
Yeah, but also what you just made me think too is like with Midnights and even Lover, even though Lover, like we got Me and um Lover and whatever before it, um, the anticipation was like, what is it gonna sound like? Is it gonna be another 1989? Is it gonna be what is Midnight's gonna be? Oh my, we're thinking about it. Whereas like we're torture poets, I feel like we all are sort of like, of course, there still is the question, what will it sound like? But thematically, we already know what it's gonna
We
be
know
about.
what the writing is gonna be.
So
We
like
feel like at least.
right. And
Yeah.
maybe that's also why she's not doing any singles before. It's like she's already given enough like of what the content's going to be about
Right.
that the only mystery is going to be the sound of it basically.
Right.
So like
Yeah. I mean, like that could be. Yeah. It's just weird. Like I'm obviously so excited, and I am not working that day, but I'm not working because I'm going to something. You know,
right.
like it's
Wait,
not like, oh, I took the day off, which I do for album releases. Like, I don't know.
right. And I guess that's also why too and like also because the time of year just it's not like it's not the fall.
Yeah. I
Like
mean, if even though when we're thinking about it, like this is
Lover
when
and Folklore in the summer.
Fearless Taylor's version released
Yeah,
3
but
years
that
ago around
also
this
didn't
time.
feel yes, but that didn't feel like an album. I don't know. It just is all very like
Yeah, it was
almost
different.
incongruous to like the norm maybe.
Yeah, no, I
Like it
mean,
doesn't feel real. Like we're getting a new album. Like my new favorite song could be I could listen to it.
I
Like
know.
my life could change in a few days. I feel like I need to turn a light on. Like it's quickly the sun is going down, but I don't know. I don't know. There's no lights in here. Neither is
Um,
I.
yeah, I don't know. Like it is a weird. I don't know. I maybe again. I guess like maybe I'm not like as one. I definitely think us not being together is really playing into that fact.
Yeah.
But also, I think it is part of me like that knows like as much as like I'm sure this is going to be a pop album, like I'm going to be sad. So it's not like I'm getting excited to listen to
Yeah.
songs that are going to make me cry, even though I love the sad girl songs. So I should be excited. I don't know.
No, I am yeah, just
But
excited, but just in a different way, I guess.
but
But
maybe that's good. Like maybe we're like we don't like we're not hyping this to like insurmountable expectations or like
right,
with
right.
Midnights, right? Like I loved Midnights from the start, but I was kind of shocked by the way it sounded because of the 70s vibes. I kind of thought we were getting
Right.
like a soft rock album or something. Like I don't know. Like I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting like such a pop girly sound, which was stupid
I
of me.
know.
But I guess since it was the first one since Folklore and Evermore, we didn't really know what we were gonna get.
Right. And so this time we don't have those expectations. But
Right.
I guess we should say though, like what we're like this episode, obviously is
Is
anticipation
this?
in the next
Yeah.
couple days, but basically we're gonna just go through what's been coming out. Like the song lengths, who's writing it, how we're hyping up for the album, whatever, what we're gonna do the day it's released, and then the playlist that Taylor released, like the
Yeah.
5 stages of grief, and then we'll end it with Coachella, the
Coachella.
Coachella weekend.
Yeah, we figured we'd end with some of that content. So if you
Yes.
don't want to listen to it, you don't have to.
So Steph and I keep saying like, and I don't know if we mentioned this last episode that we're not going to be together for this because Steph, you have a bachelorette party in Miami that you have to go to, which is exciting. But so how are you? What are you? So are you gonna just stay up till? So when's your flight? Like, how are you gonna listen to the album? What's the deal?
Yeah, so like obviously lots of plans throughout the bachelorette weekend that mean I'm going to be staying up very late. So I'm not staying up.
Wait, where's your? Okay, so your flight is Friday morning.
Yeah, my flight is like Friday at noon.
Okay.
So my plan will just be to go to bed. And then whenever I first wake up, I'm just going to listen to it. And then I guess kind of go
And
from
on
there.
the
Like
plane,
obviously I can listen to
download
it on the
it, listen to
plane.
it on
Like
the
I can,
plane.
yeah, right. Like I'm going to listen to it a bunch.
And you can write your thoughts down on the plane, your initial thoughts.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to listen to it the second I wake up because that's what I did with 1989 too. But like sorry, my cat was just looking at me super cute. But yeah, I'm not going to stay up. And then I obviously will have to like not look at anything when I wake up and just start listening.
Yeah.
But I wake
maybe
up
I
really
should-
early, so I'm not going to have a problem.
Well, you're not gonna have a problem with seeing other things.
No, like I'm not going to have a problem with like if I wake up at 6:15, I'm going to be done with the album by 7:15 and then I can scroll. It's not like, oh shit, I woke up at 9, I want to scroll immediately. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right,
I'll
right.
feel like I'm still in the early window before I know I'm obviously going to miss a bunch of reactions and stuff from
Well, I
the
don't think
people
you're
that
gonna
stay
miss
up,
any
but
react. I don't think you'll miss the reactions will be there for you.
no, right. But
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
like I guess I mean like I know it's not like, oh, I'm not going to listen for 3 days, so I can't
Right.
consume
You have to like
things.
stay off
So
the internet. Yeah, you'll be able to like listen like right because a
by
lot of
like
people are gonna
7:30, I'll be able to be on the internet.
right. A lot of people are gonna wake up and listen. So I guess maybe I'll write my what I want to say to you maybe in like a note or something and not send it to you right away. If I,
Yeah.
like as I'm thinking like I'm gonna want to text you and like be like, holy hell. But
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
also sway you like, oh my God, tell me after you listen to this song. Like maybe I'll just like write everything that I want to say in a note and
I
then
think so.
when you say you're done listening, I'll just send you my thoughts. We
I
could
think
just send
that's
each other
good
our
because
thoughts.
that'll be like similar to how we sometimes do with the vault tracks. Like when we get together to talk about
Yeah.
it, we don't talk about those before we
Right.
get going. Yeah, I think
But
we're gonna have to.
So we'll do a podcast episode the week after, but like me and you can still share our initial thoughts with each other
Oh
the
yeah, of
day
course.
after because like what our initial thoughts are, obviously
Never stay the
everybody
same.
feels this way, are not going to be the same the following week.
Right.
So I think it'll be fun to see both of us what we initially think like to each other and then we could talk about how it's changed and transformed within 1 week of listening to the album.
Yeah, I agree.
You could keep talking. I'm going to talk about but I'm going to just see if I could turn this light on.
Okay. So I feel like we should start with well, actually, do you want to talk about how you're going to listen? Like, you're going to stay up?
I do want to talk about it. I'm so sorry. I know we have to keep this tight, but I have to go get the light from out the other room.
Okay.
I didn't anticipate there not being, there's a light there, but it doesn't even, I'll be right back. I'm sorry. It's right here. Did that work?
I mean,
You
it's
think I'll be
light.
okay with that light? Oh,
It's
yeah.
much better than it was.
Okay.
It was.
I was like, why isn't it working? But I hit the light switch and then it worked. So, okay, sorry. So yes, I do want to talk about it. So this is a PSA. You guys will probably be hearing this the day before the album comes out. But since Steph and I won't be together, I really want my live reactions. When we did that with the Speak Now Vault tracks, one, it was so fun. And it's like a YouTube exclusive. So I will be doing a YouTube exclusive live reacting, I guess, to the album. So I will be staying up midnight and I am gonna go to work the next day. So my plan is to like take a nap from 6 to 10 and then get my crap together. And I will have a guest co-host, Ryan, who is very excited that he will be joining me right here in my house, maybe in this room, maybe out there, I don't know yet. And I'm like really excited, but I'm really nervous because one, like, will I be okay at work the next day? Two, it's scary to live react. Like, I'm also scared for like how's Ryan gonna live react? Like it's gonna be interesting to see because he's not gonna react the same way we would and have the same like connections that we're making to
Hmm.
things. He's gonna be more so taking it just from like a
The
musical
sound.
standpoint. Do
Yeah.
I like this song? He's very big with like instruments and like, and he likes Taylor Swift's music, but I'm more so gonna be looking at it from a lyrical standpoint,
Right.
and he's more so gonna be like a vibe, like. So I don't get like angry at
No,
him.
I feel like that'll be good though, Steph, because like it'll be because I feel like sometimes, like we might get hung up on, wait, what's that lyric about?
Hmm.
And he will be able to say like, no, that song was good. Like it sounded
Right.
good. So
Right.
I feel like that'll be a good thing. I've thought about it too. Like I thought about just like when I first listened, just like recording myself, obviously not for anything, but just in case, like
I
something
know.
like made me
Crazy.
cry or like, yeah, right. Like I was like, should I do that? And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll see how I'm feeling when I wake up. Like, will I want to just go and sit at a table and listen
Right.
that way, or I want to just be in my bed? So I guess I'm just gonna see what happens with my,
I just remember like
because then it would be fun too if we both had
reactions. I
reactions that were
know.
similar, though. Like if there were
Right.
certain songs where we both were like, whoa, but like similar to Mr. Perfectly Fine.
Yes.
Remember when we
And
did that?
I've never regretted doing a live reaction like we did with the vault tracks. Like I didn't feel like, because part of me thought this, but then I was like, no, I've never felt like that. That I would have almost like be wanting to overperform because there's a camera in front of me. Like, you know what I mean? And for
Yeah.
Midnights too, like it's almost like we forgot that it was there. And then it's fun to like look back on.
And my
Um,
only, yeah, I totally agree with you. And the only thing and I don't regret it because obviously we have so much fun when we're together to listen to albums, but I always get so drunk that like I'm kind of excited to like, like by the end of
yes.
Midnights, we like didn't know what the
I was like,
fuck was going
what? No,
on.
by the vault tracks, we were like,
Right.
what?
Like when
I
3
really,
a.m. came out, we were like, no. And we were
oh,
just like
no.
sitting there. So like the one thing I am excited about is that like if I do reactions, like I will be in full consciousness, I guess, like and sober. So
Yes,
like to
same
remember
because
because like even now, like if I think about it, I'm like, I don't remember like how I felt the first time I was listening to like Paris, you
well,
know?
we could watch the video.
Right.
So, but no, I agree. I same
But
because
like
like
I
I
wasn't
work
like processing it. You know what I
right
mean? Like so I that's the one thing I will say I'm excited to to listen with a
with a
full
clear
like
mind.
yeah, exactly. But like
Yeah.
obviously it's so much fun when we do those things. So I'm
No,
gonna
yeah,
say that
no,
that's
I
always
totally
better,
agree.
but
I'll probably have like one glass of wine, but I also I'm
you have to go
assuming
to
it'll be
work.
like
So
12 to 2. I'll try to cut it at 2. But like
yeah.
I get up at 4:45 for work. So like
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
But definitely doing a movie day. I already told my one class it's perfect. They're taking a quiz on Macbeth, and so then we can
Amazing.
watch the Denzel, So it's all good. But
Perfect.
okay, but the other thing I wanted to tell you before we start is what I was doing yesterday. And I'm really excited about it. Basically, you know how I've been designing, not designing, like I was like, I kind of just like designing like merch and like blah, 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 blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. Well, I was looking into things and I invested because it's gonna work for things in the future that I'm not gonna say what, but invested in a special printer and also a heat press. And so I really needed to figure it out yesterday because I was like, I need to like try something. And so I made my own Torture Poets Department merch that I'm currently wearing.
Oh,
I don't know if you noticed,
cool.
I kept trying to hide myself before.
I thought you
So,
were wearing something Taylor Swift, but I
yeah.
didn't.
Anyway, I know it's hard to see
Oh.
because now it's dark, but you should, Steph, the amount of time I spent to duplicate this font and like to get the letters to look like that. And
Yeah.
then I made, so I have the logo that I made a book and it has the whole track list on this side
Oh,
and then the
cool.
bonus tracks. And then it just
Love
says
it.
Tortured Poets Department on the bottom.
Oh my
And
God,
it
so
was
cute.
so easy to press and it's like the permanent, like it's not gonna like it's not a stick on, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's so I'm just really
Cool.
excited about it. And I also bought a sweatshirt that like I want to design something else. So like, maybe I can like bring you merch next like when we are together.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, I'll take merch. I love that. That's so cool.
Do you like my design?
I love it. That's what I meant when I said that's so cool. I meant your design.
Yeah. So I
I
could do t-shirts. I could do so anything in that style, like t-shirts, sweatshirts, like bags, whatever. I also have a specific one for hats. It's a 5-in-1 press. So there's a design for
cool.
hats, for cups, for plates. So anything that's in that in those shapes, I can do.
Damn, that's really cool.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking I'm doing it because I think it's gonna be worth it money wise, the investment, for the future, like when I have to like make a bunch of things, you know.
Yeah.
But like potentially on Etsy, I could over the summer like put some of my designs out there to like
Yeah, for
sell.
sure.
But that's not necessarily why I did it. It's more of like a hobby because I just like creating things.
I get
And
you. That's so cool.
yeah, so I'm really
Wow.
excited about it.
Yeah, that's great, Steph.
Yeah, it was really easy to do and fun. So like, yeah,
We'll see what's ahead on this journey you're
yeah.
taking.
So I'll probably wear this on Friday also.
Duh. You
I'm
have
excited.
to.
So anyway, so yeah, so that's like what's new with me.
Very cool.
So but yeah, that's it. So yeah, guys, look out, YouTube exclusive. We'll have up our reaction to all the songs.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to put it out right away. I just
Exciting.
need to remember what the like rules are on YouTube. Like, is it okay to play the whole song through? While we're like
Oh yeah,
talking
because
about it?
remember our
One time we went to jail,
that's
YouTube
not even the
jail.
one. Our Speak Now Vault track one, we couldn't put the tracks over it. Remember?
No, I did that intentionally because we had just gotten out of YouTube jail because I put the
Oh, okay.
Maroon video from the concert and they put us in jail. And so we got out of jail and I was afraid to make the tracks louder because I
Yeah,
didn't want to go back to jail. But like
I
other
gotcha.
YouTube creators put the songs loudly.
I think I guess you'll have to watch and check them because I feel like what I remember from a lot of YouTube people is they cut a lot.
I
You know what
know.
I
Yes,
mean? Where it's like you don't hear the whole song,
I did
and
that
maybe
with ours
that's what it would
too.
be.
So I could still do that because there's going to be times where like we might just be staring for a
Yeah,
while until like,
yeah.
well, so I could do that too. I'll see. We'll figure it out, but that'll be off camera stuff that we'll talk about. So, should we get into um
Yeah, I mean, should we start with the lyrics that seem to have been released today?
oh, what were they? You could tell me because I don't
Okay.
know. News to me.
So everybody is talking about her Gillette Night One surprise songs, specifically Should Have Said No and Better Man. And remember how when she sang Should Have Said No, she kind of did that
Yes, like she was cheated on.
no. Yeah,
Like
so one of the
yeah, she was
lyrics she
telling us
released
something.
is one less temptress, one less dagger to sharpen.
Wait, what? Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
What?
Stop. Stop. Oh my God. I love myself. I was designing more merch for Torture Post Department yesterday,
Yeah.
and I've had this idea since the beginning. And because I have a sweatshirt, like I said, and what I really wanted to do was I make a dagger, a pen, and have Torture Post Department almost in blood ink. And so I literally made a dagger, and I'm like, I don't even know if I was like, I really hope there's a
That'll
reference to a
work.
dagger. I just feel like she's going to because that's so like tortured poets, like my dagger pen, like drew your blood. And wow, I was right on
Yeah.
the goddamn money.
I was
Okay,
gonna say
anyway,
that's so that was one.
wait, can you read it again?
One less temptress, one less dagger to sharpen.
Damn.
So I mean,
So
I don't
I
know.
wonder if that one less temptress, so maybe it's like,
I'm leaving,
right.
so do what you want.
Yeah, but
Maybe that's
temptress means like another girl.
no, I agree. Like almost like the chase two girls lose the one.
Yes,
Like
yes,
one like
exactly.
I'll get out of your
Like
hair
one less.
because right, like
And so you don't have to sharpen you don't have to hurt me anymore like he was
right.
hurting. Like now you only have to hurt one. I'll make it easier for you.
Right.
Unless she's referencing that she got rid of, I don't know. But yes,
Yeah,
I
or maybe she
wondered.
she killed a
Well,
temptress.
because one less dagger to sharpen means like he would be the one with the
Right, he wouldn't have
dagger
to.
with the
Right.
temptress, but maybe she's like, yeah, we don't know what song it's for, so it depends. But that makes sense. Like I'm just
I'm
only
removing
familiar.
myself, and maybe it's just like maybe it's sort of the in her state of denial, she was constantly fighting off the temptresses, right? Like with the
Hmm.
daggers. And then now, if she's removing herself, she doesn't have to sharpen her daggers
Right.
anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, like
Or
who's
it's
holding the
completely the
dagger in
opposite and
this
she's murdering
case?
people.
Yes.
So, and then the other one
Wait, where,
was,
who, what, who, how did she
I
release
still
this?
haven't figured this out because I just like went on Twitter right before we started and everybody's talking about them and like oh my god, like dagger, like in daylight she says all their cloaks and their
Their cloaks and
daggers
their
because it's morning
daggers.
now. Like I just saw
Yep.
people talking about all the different songs that these lyrics could be intertwined with. I
Right.
don't know where they came from. I don't know if she posted them. I don't know if Taylor Nation did. Like I have not gotten that far yet. So
Wow.
the other one that I see is, so people, even statues crumble if they're made to wait, which feels, and everybody's saying tolerate it.
Like she waited for him.
Right. Like even the most strong, like,
Fortress. Yeah.
will crumble if it's not, if it's just on its own, I guess, or something. I don't know. But
So
everybody's talking about
even,
tolerate
wait,
it
did you
with
say
like
castles or statues?
statues
Statues crumble if
if
they
they're
have to
made
wait.
if they're made to wait.
If they're made to wait. Yeah. So even the strongest of things eventually can crumble and fall
Right.
down. Like all, statues are, although like seemingly permanent and can be there for hundreds of years, they also still can crumble.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
only a matter of
So
time before they eventually crumble, I guess, is maybe what that's referencing. Like she was strong for so long, um, but it can just kind of crumble
right.
like that.
Right. Or like right. And like with tolerate it vibes, like I'll just wait here until you notice me or whatever. But then even anybody will think it's been too long now. I'm
Did it
falling
say
apart and I'm out
if they are made to wait or because they are made to wait?
if they're made to wait. Let me check again. But I
Okay,
think it was
so
if. Even statues crumble if they're made to wait. And then they brought up like in the, I think it's the Karma music video, she's a statue in it.
hmm,
One of the
interesting.
things.
I only asked that because the discrepancy of if or because is like if is implying that not all statues are made to crumble. Because I was gonna say all statues are essentially like the only way that they can
Well, they
break
have to
is by
be,
crumbling.
but they have to be preserved to not.
Right. Okay.
So if they're made to wait,
And kept
aka if they're just kind of
right thrown out there, anything
thrown
can.
aside, then
Yeah,
they're
you're not protected.
gonna
Yeah.
crumble.
Hmm.
Anyway,
I'm already loving that though. Like exactly
me
the
too.
vibe that I was thinking with, which is the daggers. Hello. With the daggers, the statues, like referencing also just
Oh,
going like tortured poets. So you have like potential references
yeah.
to um either historical allusions or literature.
Uh, totally agree. Also, I forgot there's that Spotify library installation thing. I think that's where this stuff is coming from because people
Okay.
are going to it and she must have some lyrics there.
What is that?
I have no clue, but it looks so fucking cool now that I'm
Is it
looking at
in
it.
real life? Like people are
Yeah.
physically
Like
showing
it's
up
like a
somewhere?
literal,
What the hey? Is that a does that look like a castle?
it kind of did. So
Like
it's a library. Like it's a library with mailboxes in it.
okay.
And then it said, like, someone was like, oh, people are thinking there's 72 mailboxes and 72 months equals 6 years. So, like, is that a Joe dig? But, oh, and then, oh, God, what the frick is going
Taylor Nation
on?
posted on their story this
Yeah.
video going. Is that what you're looking at?
No, not yet. I thought I saw something else from Taylor Nation. I have to find them
Yeah, it's a
again.
video. It's like a reel. Let's take a peek down a hallway.
If entry into the Tortured Poets Department is what you seek, step out of the Midnight's room and enjoy a peek.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time music video release.
Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
Interesting. I mean, not surprising though. That's pretty typical.
She
Not
usually does a music video the next day.
right.
Yeah.
You know what I am curious of though? Are there, you know how that one time, which is so annoying in retrospect, for Midnights, we didn't get the lyric videos on YouTube till the next day.
Oh,
But
I forgot about
for
that.
Speak Now Vault, it was out at midnight because that's how we watched them.
Yeah.
I hope the lyric videos are out right away on YouTube because, like, for me, I need them. Otherwise, I literally am like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, that's right. I kind of forgot about that.
And I want to be able to like have the lyrics and while I'm like listening, reading,
Hmm.
especially if I'm like, wait, what did she say there? Like, I need something to like, I
Yeah.
guess, when did you, this is the first time I've ordered music, like an album from, from her website. I'm still gonna go Target the day of, but I ordered like one of the Bolt, I forget which one, but does it usually come the day of?
Um, it's close.
I mean, it's not going to come the night before, so I'm not going to have it at midnight regardless. I was just thinking for the lyric books.
I
Unless
can't
there's a,
remember like 1989. Did that come the day of or did it come like the next day?
I
I
don't
know
know.
1989 like because I ordered the vinyl and I was shocked that it got there like it got to me as like quickly as it did in terms of like oh wow, it's only been the album just came out. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
cuz sometimes she has her merch issues.
right.
Um but I don't remember how quickly after it came. Cuz I didn't
Anyway,
have it when you guys were there, right?
yeah, but not at least that you were able to show me no. So that would be the day, the actual
At
like
least
day
2 days
of.
after. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's this? So regardless, though, I was thinking I could like read the lyric book, but that wouldn't change it either way.
You
So it
can
doesn't
always
really.
pull it up cuz like Spotify will have it usually.
That's true. Um, sorry, I'm just trying to.
Unless they do those stupid like little videos again. What's going on?
The computer just said something that sounded like it just said breast, and like that's freaking me out. What the hell?
I didn't hear it.
I don't know, but I didn't like it. Whatever.
Um,
I don't know how I got the screen later before, but so well, I will find out the day of. I don't know. Sometimes she tells us, sometimes she doesn't. If
yeah.
that's gonna be like a thing. Um. So
Should we talk
what?
about
Oh yeah, so those are the lyrics that were released today. Those actually make me more excited than the other ones that I've heard. Like, then there's the other one. It's like I wish I could unrecall how we almost had it all.
mhm.
Everybody's speculating that that's from going to be from So Long London, which makes a lot of sense. Like saying kind of goodbye and horribly sad. And there's been so much good new music lately. I hate everybody, of course. I love being on Twitter, but it's so
Yeah.
horrible. Everybody's just
I haven't.
comparing everyone like Beyonce and Ariana Grande. And I love both of her albums. But Grande's concept is the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, the Jim Carrey movie. And basically that's just a fancy way of saying like ignorance is bliss. Have you ever seen the movie?
Mm-mm.
So basically the concept is like they had this relationship and they go in and like you can go to this place where they can completely wipe your memory of a person, but it goes through and like goes back through the mind and goes through all like the memories that they have as they like erase them from your mind. So basically like you don't want to deal with the pain of the loss of that person, so you just forget that
Mhm.
you ever knew them or met them or whatever it is. So like her album being called Eternal Sunshine is basically saying, and a lot of her songs are basically saying like she just, because she went through a divorce, like she just wants to forget that it ever happened. Like she just wants
Yeah.
ignorance is bliss, basically. So that line, I wish I could unrecall how we almost had it all, is that like kind of that similar concept. I wish I could just
Hmm.
wipe you from my memory, because thinking about how close, like the way
Right.
that I used to feel about you and all of the things that we could have had and how close we were to being
Yeah.
there, almost like Better Man. I wish you could have been a better man, because like we could have
Right.
been,
Yeah.
what could we have been if you were a better man? So that's what it sort of reminds me of, which is so sad. But at the same time, like the other lyrics excite me more because they're more like you could peel back the layers of it and
Yes.
it could be
There's more.
referencing so many things.
Yeah. Right.
That's more straightforward, basically.
Yeah. There's more like imagery tied to the other ones,
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
interpretation.
Yeah. And then did you remember any others?
Those are the only two I've seen.
Okay.
So I think that
Um,
might be.
yeah, I mean there were the other ones that we originally came out, like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they're kind of in the playlists, right?
oh yeah, so
So
right, right, right. But I
we'll
was
kind of
thinking
get
more
to
of
them, but
All's Fair in Love and Poetry, if that is a lyric, and then also like my I'm gonna step into or enter into evidence um my bruised coat of arms or something like
oh
that. Like
yeah. See, I
loves
kind of thought all of that stuff was more of just like leaning into the like whole department
right,
vibe. Like I didn't think of those as like potential lyrics, more as like just playing into like they just did like, oh, meeting in session, or like people found lyrics at the board meeting today. Like
right.
that's what
Like
they
now
kind of
she's
said. Like
stepping into her evidence and the love, but
right,
the
like it
tick
kind of
tick
just
tick of the love's bond, like it did that
yeah,
one
that
felt
yeah, I guess that one.
All's Fair in Love and Poetry I could see as just being like that's the message of the album. Like it's all fair, like sucks to suck, but the other one does feel like a lyric,
Yeah.
but I don't know. So we also got, if we're ready to talk about it, the track lengths and the songwriters.
Yes.
So you sent me the picture of it.
Yeah. So just as a like quick recap, she is a single, like only her songwriting credits on two songs. Her and Jack Antonoff are co-writers on 8 songs. One of them also has Post Malone, obviously,
Right.
Fortnite. Her and Florence Welch are on Florida. And then her and Aaron Dessner co-wrote 5 songs. Things of note, the 2 songs she wrote on her own are My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys and Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. And then her and Aaron Dessner are the two that wrote track 5, So Long London. And the last one they wrote together for track 5 was Tolerate It. And that is also pretty long, but like most of the songs are pretty long.
Right. So it said that the longest song,
But Daddy, I Love Him at 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
I know,
And
I'm
that
so
is
intrigued
like
by that.
I think they said it's like the third or fourth longest song in her catalog now.
Right.
Behind like All Too Well, Dear Last Kiss, Dear John.
But also noteworthy that 5 minutes and 34
Right.
seconds is Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. So there's
Right.
2 songs that are nearly identical in length.
And then the
Like
Tortured Poets department has a song is almost
5 minutes.
And then she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 others that are over 4 minutes.
And there's only one song that's
Under 3.
It's 2.5 minutes, which is I Can Fix Him No Really I Can.
Yeah. It's a long one.
Yeah. So altogether, I think just the original tracks are a 1 second difference from the red original tracks I saw, like 65 minutes and something seconds.
Oh, you're
something like
kidding.
that. So I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I don't know
Crazy.
if that's intentional, but it's interesting.
Do you think that we're going to get all the vault or all the bonus songs on Spotify immediately?
No.
Like how long do you think though?
I think it's gonna be what her
Weeks?
standard process has been for like her like Evermore, Folklore, and all the other albums, which is like around I feel like a month or so. I know that we have waited super long for certain songs, but those aren't. We've never waited like super 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 long for bonus tracks. More so like bonus tracks that she's added on, like You're Losing Me.
But we
We
waited a
obviously,
while for Hits Different.
oh, that's true. Oh my God, I've totally forgot.
But
So
here's
yeah,
why I think, like, I can't decide what it's going to be because I feel like, I know obviously there's been a lot of discourse about vinyl variants.
Billie Eilish, yeah.
Yeah. And like, I will say, it does annoy me that she's put different songs on each one
Yes.
because I do get like, I mean, Billie went like a lot of her comments went way too long in terms of
And
like saying it's
she
all for
was
clout and whatever. And it's like, you definitely do have a ton of vinyl variants. And like, yeah, okay, you use green materials. But I will say, from what I've been seeing, she doesn't have different things about them. Like
Mhm.
if you just want to pick one color, you can pick. It's similar to like 1989,
Right.
right? Where it was like, oh shoot, I wish I got the yellow one, but I already ordered the blue one. Like
Right. Like
there wasn't
withholding this
any
actual
difference.
songs.
Right. And that's kind of it does irk me a little bit,
No,
but it
same.
also makes me feel like maybe that means she will put them on streaming sooner
Right.
because there's so many variants that are going to be ending up online anyway, that like maybe she'll be like similar to the 3 a.m., not similar to
Right.
that, but like maybe she will do like, hey, Tortured Poets Department Volume 2 out at midnight Friday
Right.
or something with all
I
the
do
vault
think
songs
it'll be
or, bonuses.
not as long as Hits Different, but I do think it'll be a standard few weeks.
Yeah.
Um until maybe the like whatever round of CDs and stuff like are nearly sold out, or like maybe she'll do it once like okay, we're not going to make more copies after this,
Yeah.
but once our like they just put up the like bookmark special edition CDs for another 48 hours, and they're going to sell them at Target. So they're probably going to wait until that stock gets low enough
Yeah.
um to get people to buy them, which is annoying, but I feel like that's probably what's going to happen.
Right.
And then once that stock kind of goes down enough, they'll release it, or she'll release it. But I do feel like it'll be more of what she has done pre midnights with the bonus tracks, which I feel like I'm usually waiting around like a month
Like a
for.
couple. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That's what
I
I'm
know
hoping.
I remember wanting to listen to Right Where You Left Me, um, and I only listened to the CD, and I was like, oh, it'll be out by January, and that's great anyway because then I can start listening on Spotify. It's going to count for my Spotify Wrapped, but it not being out like right away, and like having to choose between like, do I listen for Spotify or do I go to my CD so I can listen to Right Where You Left Me? But it wasn't much long, like it wasn't February, like, but it was like probably
Yeah.
mid to late January, like which is around a month. I mean, we could look it up probably in a quick Google
Yeah. I
search.
think you're
Like I
right. I
could be
think you're
wrong, but
right.
I just remember my thought process. And I think it's typically like that. Like I don't I don't remember how long I had to wait for like Wonderland and New Romantics, but I only ever had that on streaming. I never had the CD.
Those were so here's what was different about those though. I feel like when she was doing extra songs back then, it was
Mm-hmm.
like months later. And it was like, hey, we didn't know about them, I guess is what I should say.
Oh, so it
Like
wasn't right
like
away
Fearless
in
Platinum
Target?
Edition came out like a year after
Oh, really? It
Fearless.
wasn't at Target right away?
I don't think so.
Oh, I always thought that's how it was. But I
Well,
guess like
I know for a fact it wasn't that way with Fearless. And I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it wasn't that way with Speak Now either, because like the albums I have do
Yeah.
not have the tracks on them.
Right, cuz I have
Red
like
maybe though, because I feel like I listened to Girl at like those pretty quickly, but I don't remember.
yeah, yeah, me either. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just strictly thinking of Folklore Evermore rollout, and I'm just like, I just don't remember properly.
I mean, with this, that's our best guess though, like because yeah. So Fearless released November 11th, 2008. The Platinum Edition released October 26th, 2009. So she waited almost a year.
Wow.
And now I'm gonna look Speak Now real quick. Oh, okay. I think the Speak Now one may have come out like right after, which would make sense with what I remembered from Red. So maybe Fearless was the only one that was like so much longer.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess regardless of
We'll
there
see.
isn't really a
Yeah.
consistent thing as consistent of a thing that I thought. Um, so I will be annoyed, but regardless, I'm probably gonna go to Target after school on Friday and buy them all.
Every single one?
Well, I 100% want to get the original, like the manuscript. I already am gonna have one. I either have the Bolter or Albatross. I forget which one. Um, and so I really, really like the one that I don't. The one that I think. Okay, I think I have the Bolter. I think the two of us ordered the same one. I
Yeah,
believe
because
it's
we
the
thought that
Bolter.
was the only one.
Yeah, or was it the Albert? Whatever. The other one that was released, I love the cover. It's not the black dog.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love the cover. I love the way she looks. It's like I think she's in the white thing and
Yep,
she's
yep, 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 yep.
black, and I really, really want that. So, and then like I just have to get the black dog. So I might get another vinyl, maybe of the one that I like the best, and then the other CDs are like $15. So yeah, I might get one more vinyl and then the other two in CDs. Or do I just get like a collection of one of them, like get all the CDs? I don't know. You know what I mean? Or the vinyls are prettier.
So I had ordered
I
the
don't know.
vinyl with the manuscript already.
You
And
ordered
then
the yeah, gotcha.
when the Bolter came out, that was the first new edition or whatever. I ordered that because I thought it was going to be the only one, but I ordered it in a CD version
Same. I did the
and
same
because it
thing.
came with the bookmark.
Yeah.
So one vinyl and one CD is as far as I'm going to go until I can get them on streaming. So like I technically do have two of the five, six because the
Yeah.
Target one, but yeah,
Well, no, isn't Target
I think the Target one isn't
it's
any
just the
different.
color. It's
Yeah.
still just the manuscript is the bonus track. But now I'm curious. I need to like check my history. Did I do like what vinyl did I order? Because I know I ordered two at the same time. So like what did I order?
Well, if you ordered them at the same time, when you ordered the
Yeah.
Bolter CD, you would have had to order either the Bolter vinyl as well
Right.
or the original
Right. Which is
because
just like
those were
because
the
I
only two
probably
out.
thought in my head, which is what I am still thinking, like I'm gonna get the original one at Target the day of. View your order. Yep. The Bolter and the Bolter. Yep. 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 That's
Oh,
what I did.
you did both Bolter. Okay.
Yep, both Bolter because that's what was available at the time. And I kind of want all four of like the same, like all four either vinyls or all four CDs. Like you have all four midnights, right?
Yeah,
I know
but
it's for the clock.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know what the front of them looks like. Once I hung it up, that was the last of it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Bridge. Well, you
because
know
I always
what?
think that when I look at my vinyls, I'm like, I thought I had Midnights, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's hanging on my wall.
You know, I can also wait and see if how much I like. Say I listen to the album and I'm like immediately like, oh my god, there's like 7 songs that are my favorite songs of all time on here. Maybe I'll be like, I want all four
Yeah,
because maybe I want to hang all of them up. I'll just wait and see. Like I'll
yeah,
see like how I feel. Like how's my bank account? Like how am I doing?
for sure.
But I'm saving money. I'm making my own merch. So like I can't
Yeah.
make my own vinyls or vinyl records, but you know. Okay. Anyway, back to the whatever, the times, the track list.
Mm-hmm.
Um I saw people saying that, Aaron Dessner and Taylor are writing track 5, So Long London, which is clearly going to be about Joe. Well, one, Aaron Dessner, you said tolerate it. We know that like they really are
They're
so
like,
sad and he's so good with
yeah, they're like soulmates in
right. Like
songwriting.
unfortunately sound like depression and like I remember him talking about the idea of peace. Like she's talking about her fame and he's like, no, I deal with that too because of my depression with his wife or whatever, that he just feels like it's always going to be creeping up and this and that. So he can really step into the sadness. But I
Mm-hmm.
saw somebody saying like, They probably couldn't let Jack on So Long London because he was going to be way too mean because he fucking
For
hates
sure.
Joe.
For sure. I still, and I know we've talked about this before, like I cannot believe I completely missed the Bleachers version of Antihero.
I can't believe you missed that either. Like,
Like
it makes sense that I wouldn't be like, holy shit, listen to this.
they
But
weren't
I
broken
thought
up
I
at the
really
time,
did
but
think that that
like
was like I don't know. Like I thought we talked about it.
we didn't. Cause like, and obviously they weren't broken up at the time yet, but like, so I didn't even really listen. Well, also to be fair, there was like 10,000 remixes of Antihero that I think I just like didn't listen to any
Yeah, it's
after like the first acoustic one or something. Like I was like, I'm done. I can't. I guess I didn't realize how much of an actual like change he did to it. I kind of
yeah.
just thought it was just a different remix of the same exact stuff. I didn't
Yeah.
realize he
But
changed
also because
lyrics.
I remember we were talking and when we were trying to make everybody guess like who was our special guest and she said singer, so you didn't think Jack Antonoff, you thought Joe Jonas. I was like, no, he's in a band, and you're like, oh, yeah, I don't register that. So probably it didn't say featuring Jack
That's true.
Antonoff, it said featuring Bleachers. So
Bleachers.
you
Yeah.
you probably weren't registering it as like Jack Antonoff's like physically singing on this song.
Well, and I think I just thought it was another like they're not changing any lyrics. They're just remixing this damn song again.
Mhm.
So I'm not
Right.
gonna listen to it. Like I just
Right.
it's not on my top priority. Like I guess I didn't realize like I just didn't realize that.
We don't talk about this because like I don't care for the remixes, but like what really bothers me lately about Taylor Swift like releasing remixes to her songs and like this new age is they're the same thing and like somebody else is remixing it. So I don't like who cares about the DJ remixes. She did like the acoustic version of Lavender Haze or Antihero or something and it's the same vocals.
Yeah.
Like enough. I want the like how she did All Too
Well,
Well Sad Girl version is a completely different recording. State of
well, and
Grace
that's
acoustic. Like that's
well,
what I
that's
want.
part of the thing. Like people were questioning why in Speak Now, Taylor's version, she didn't put out the haunted instrumental or whatever the other
Right.
one was. Like she did for State of Grace
Right.
on Red. And they were like, she didn't re-sing the vocals on those. She just pop version. And that's what
Right.
she's doing. Yeah, that's what she's doing with like all of those.
But I miss when she used to do that because those end up being when you sing it acoustically and I want your vocals stripped. Like
Yeah.
to be honest, the pop the sound can stay the same, the music can stay the same, but I want your like stripped vocals. I want a different whatever.
Yeah.
So you know, that just with the Antihero and all those remixes, that's why I also usually pay no mind to them either
Right.
because when it said Lavender Haze acoustic, I got or whatever or Antihero, whatever song it was acoustic, I got all excited and I'm like, what? I was so annoyed. I'm like, this isn't
Yeah.
acoustic. Like I guess it is, but it's not. She didn't
Agreed.
do anything. Somebody else
Agreed.
just mixed it differently.
I agree.
Anyway, that's just like a gripe that I have. Now with speaking of that though, the ones that Jack Antonoff wrote, I'm just trying to look fresh out the slammer Jack Antonoff helped write. And so I wonder, I hope that there is a mean song that Jack really like put the punches in there. So fresh out the slammer could be like a reference to like how
Guilty as sin.
he kept her in prison, like guilty as sin. Do you think that's the Dagger lyric?
I don't know. I was just thinking that. Like if guilty as sin is like calling out potential like infidelity, I could see it being in
Yeah.
there.
And fresh out the slammer, like because you know the daggers, because she killed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, Aaron Dessner is the smallest man who ever lived, which sounds mean.
Yeah. I don't know. Like it's well, so obviously we don't have any idea what this sounds like, but I've seen I don't know if they're spoilers or what people are saying, but like I've seen people say like it's a mix of Red and what was the other
Reputation.
one? Reputation.
And
I literally
specifically
was
Holy Ground.
and I was literally thinking about it because I was like, okay, so all the songs where Jack co-wrote it are
Is
going to
Red.
sound like Reputation, and then all the songs that Aaron Dessner co-wrote are going to be
Yep.
like heartbreaking, like Red. Like,
Yep.
but we'll see.
Sound wise, yeah.
And then also, like, again, the only potential leak I've heard, which I don't know if it's leak or just AI making up lyrics, but like, have you heard the Fortnite clip
No, that's
on
that
TikTok?
Post Malone posted on his Instagram.
Oh, he did?
Yes, but it's not that. People just like speculated. It's not. All the Post Malone fans are like, no, this is his upcoming song. That's like something about missing me or blah blah blah.
Oh no, because there's a sound. Maybe it's just a sound going around on TikTok right now that like is literally sounds like what Fortnite would be. And I haven't I literally think it's only 10 seconds long, but like again, there's so much AI shit going around that like I don't know if it's real or not, but if it is, I dug it. So
What does it sound like? What was it? Just a sound or like
maybe I'll find
people
it.
singing?
It was people singing, but like again, the AI stuff is crazy
Both of
that
them, or
like
just Post Malone, or just Taylor
it's
Swift?
just Taylor.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say the thing that I'm talking about, it was just Post Malone, and it was
Let's
actually
see.
just his stuff. I mean, it could be at this point, but um, I feel like that might be it.
So that's all I've heard.
Spoiler
And
alert.
no, I know, but like
Yeah.
I don't know like if it's real or not.
Right. Because you never know. There's, like
I'm
one
so
step
happy
closer.
Travi made
Yeah.
it to the big game.
One step closer for Kelsey being my last name.
Yes. Oh God,
That
that's
sounds
so
like
good.
it could be real, which
No, I
is
agree. Like I was
super
like, oh,
vibey
that
if it
sounds,
is.
and I was like, oh, I like it if it is. So I'm good. Like it'll be fine if it's not, because
Yeah.
then I didn't get spoiled. But like I was like, oh, but if it is, I like that.
Um,
So
yeah. I feel like I could totally see these songs by the song name being like Sad Red, Folklore Evermore, like sadness. But also the Holy Ground. People specifically said Holy Ground, but then there's songs that definitely sound like they could have the punch of Reputation as well. Which of
for sure.
course, like like I will. That's kind of exactly what I want. So
Oh, agreed. Like I feel like it. If those are the two albums we're mixing, like sign me the fuck up.
right, it's yeah. Okay.
And
Also,
then like lyrics, like the lyricism of Folklore and Evermore, like yeah, I'm in.
yeah, which clearly we know that it has to be. She can't
Because
really.
that's she can't go back now.
She can't call Torture Poets Department and then not
Right. Right.
and then yeah, and then have more like Karma like songs.
Right. Exactly.
I'm sure there still will be like a glitter gel pen. Maybe. I mean, there wasn't on Folklore and Evermore, but we'll see.
I mean, I don't know, like Florida.
Yeah,
I
Florida
don't know.
or Down Bad, like who knows?
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Crap, I forgot. I don't know. What's our next topic?
I think like we were just gonna get into the playlists.
Oh yeah, the playlist that she came out with. Crap, I wish I could remember what the frick frack I wanted to say, but hopefully it'll just come to me
Yeah, I
as
was gonna
we
say I'm sure it will.
as we
So
talk.
she did this a couple weeks ago now, but she built playlists around like the 5 stages of grief, and I think she got the idea from Twitter.
Yes, it
Like I
said
think she
that
saw
Apple Music kind of like said she fan theories,
pulled
blah blah
from
blah blah
fan theories
blah,
about
and
five.
she
Yeah.
yeah, so she saw this fan theory that her albums represented the 5 stages of grief. So because of that, Taylor put together these playlists of her old music that go through the 5 stages of grief, and then she sort of explains basically how she was feeling. I mean, this has been out for a few weeks, and if you're a big Taylor Swift fan, this is not news to you. You already know
Right.
this. Nevertheless, we're still going to quickly kind of go through it because everybody's thoughts have been shared. We'll probably, if there's something
Right.
specific we want to say.
And yeah, and I think we're obviously using it for Tortured Poets too, because she used
Right. Oh, yeah, we
lyrics
can kind
that
of
she
guess.
released from all of the different versions she's releasing of Tortured Poets, as well as obviously the playlist headers are all
Right.
And I will say she did not use any Reputation or Debut because
Right.
she only used her version. So
Right.
don't be looking for any of those songs. I'm sure you already know that, but
Yeah. So we could also kind of guess where things would possibly go based on the titles. But in Torture Poets. But I quickly remember what I was gonna say. For the Alchemy, I just grabbed The Alchemist, the novel from work from my coworker and I started reading it. So it's a short book, easy read. So that once I'm listening to that song, I want to be able to pull the references. But I still maintain, once you were explaining it, that I think it's going to be the fact that Joe, she described him as golden, but she's ultimately going to say that it was never pure gold, that she sort of forged that into something golden.
Yeah.
And, you know, because she
Agreed.
can make things gold. It was never him. He was never pure gold, right? Like she forged him or she welded him into that.
Made it seem golden.
Yes,
Yeah.
but now I'm also reading the book, The Alchemist. So, did you ever read it? Okay, so if there are like references to the story, but basically that novel, the premise of it is like this: he's like a shepherd, and has this like dream, and this is just like the basic premise, and basically, he needs to like travel to find like the alchemist, and like he'll find like great treasure or whatever.
Okay.
And that's basically the premise of it. And also as far as I got, like he goes based to the fortune teller lady, and he's like, I
Okay.
keep having this dream, and she's like, you got to go to the pyramids, get to those pyramids, bitch, and when you get the treasure, you don't have to pay me now. You just have to give me 10% of the treasure that you find. And he's like, okay, that sounds great. I'm poor as shit. And that's as far as I got.
Okay. Well, keep us posted
I will.
as you move through.
I will. Okay. So
Um,
the 5 stages of grief
mhm.
are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So shall we
Yes.
start with denial,
Denial.
which is the first step. So, would you like me to read what Taylor Swift said?
Yes.
Of denial, Taylor Swift says, this is a list of songs about getting so caught up in the idea of something that you have a hard time seeing the red flags, possibly resulting in moments of denial and maybe a little bit of delusion. Results may vary. This playlist is called I Love You, It's Ruining My Life, which appears on the cover of the manuscript edition of The Tortured Poets. So I guess the manuscript is, I wonder if it's because that song represents denial or if it's because that's the first version she put out, which is the first step. Do you know what I mean?
I'm thinking so here's kind of what and maybe we'll figure this out as we go. Like I love you, it's ruining my life is the lyric, if we're going to call it a lyric, that's on that album. Like I'm pretty sure it's a lyric. So part of me wonders if she looked at the lyrics she gave us for all of these different editions and was like, I love you, it's ruining my life most represents denial.
No, but it was she released these when she released the versions of that album. It said it on it already, which was prior to her making these playlists and putting
No, I
this
know,
out.
but I think like when she was creating these playlists, she might have been like, oh, this lyric, like the manuscript lyric that I've put out most represents
Oh, I see
denial.
what you're
So I'm
saying.
going to make this
Yes.
playlist
Got it.
header, this lyric, because it's denial or something. And
Right.
maybe
I
we'll
want
be able
to
to see it more as we keep going.
right. I want to see it too as we go on because this is also what I'm saying, the
First one.
first version she put out. So if it goes in that
Right.
order, then it would be like, oh, it's not even a coincidence. It literally
Right.
just happens to be that way or whatever. So yeah, it could be both or one or the other. We'll just have to say.
Right.
So do you want to I have the songs in front of me, but do you want to quickly rattle off all the songs? You want me
Yeah.
to?
So and I'll read them in order, obviously.
Yeah.
Lavender Haze, Snow on the Beach, Sweet Nothing, Glitch, Betty, Willow, Cruel Summer, Lover, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, False God, Style, Wildest Dreams, Treacherous, Untouchable, That's When, Hours, Superman, and Bejeweled.
So things that shock me
Mm-hmm.
on this, Bejeweled.
Didn't make sense to me. It's also weird because she went in order, not in like album order, but like she put all of the songs, like here's all the midnight songs I'm putting on here. Here's all the folklore. Here's all the lover here. Like she put them batched and then it was just
And then
Bejeweled at the end.
so here's what I thought. I'm thinking, so I haven't actually looked at all these until right now. I've maybe seen the first few on each. So I never even saw that she did put Bejeweled there till now or thought about it. However, the two of us have gone back and forth, and the world has gone back and forth on what Bejeweled is about. After You're Losing Me came out, we even touched back on it, or like you did. And then we brought it up that like I always thought that this was about originally about Jake Gyllenhaal, and because it's talking about there's like references to All Too Well, like I was your shiny jewel who shine on you, blah blah
Reflects
blah.
on you. Yeah.
Um, and that he basically was not almost like embarrassed of her and didn't let her shine and this and this and that. And then I was like, yeah, but it also now looking at it, it could be Joe because he didn't want to let her step out and this and whatever. And so I could see it being about both. And then we talked about how when she was writing this album, when she was re-releasing Red, so she probably wrote this song, thought of Jake Gyllenhaal, like potentially, and then realized this is how I feel again. So my thought now is that she initially wrote that song Bejeweled completely about Jake Gyllenhaal and was in denial writing it, not realizing that she was literally actually writing about her current relationship. And now she kind of realizes, not like now, but she realized like after she wrote
She
this
was
album
in
a while, like,
denial about her current relationship while she was writing Bejeweled about a different relationship that was
yes,
pretty much the same exact way it was going in her
right.
current one. I love that.
That's where I'm thinking.
I could totally see that.
And then it makes sense why she tacked it on at the end, because when she was writing it, she didn't even realize. So it's like
I love that.
after all of it, she's like, oh, yeah, no, I was in denial when I wrote that song because I thought I was writing about Jake Gyllenhaal, but really that was completely about my relationship with Joe. And I just
No,
didn't
I
even
love that. I think that's
know
so
I was
true.
spilling it. So that's my guess.
No,
Like, we're never going to know, but that's my guess.
yeah, no, I love that. I think that's probably a good, like, it's a great guess because I didn't know
Right.
why it would be in here. Because Bejeweled to me originally, I thought it would be in Acceptance,
Right.
right?
Like,
Like
I'm
I
glad
thought it
that
would
we're
be like,
not.
oh, I'm on my own now, like I'm
Yeah.
better
Like
or whatever.
independent. I
But
don't
that
need
could make
you.
complete sense.
Yeah. Like you held me back and look at me now. Um,
So,
Anything else shock you on that
well, I was
playlist?
gonna say, I think Lavender Haze opening it up is just the most like obvious confirmation we could ever get that like obviously she was
The
in denial
marriage.
about her relationship because
Yep.
like she
Making up
even, you
lies.
know, like after they broke up, she deleted the
Yep.
explanation of Lavender Haze. So you knew it was like, oh, but now it's just further confirmation that like that Lavender Haze was literally her cloud of denial that she was in
Yes.
about
It's a
everything. And
metaphor
I
for
like that she
denial.
just started it with that because it was like, let me just shoot it to you straight.
Yeah.
I don't
She
know
was
what I was like. I thought, you know, like I was just trying to spin this into my favorite narrative
right.
or
And I remember when she said that the bingo ball thing, and she was like, "Yeah, people speculating about my 6 year relationship, blah 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 blah." And then of course the line like, the 1950 shit they want from me, they just all they see is a one night or a bride or whatever. Um,
mhm.
I remember thinking like feeling sad initially when I heard
Me
that
too.
lyric,
Because
and
it was so different from where she was during
yes,
Lover.
where she was during Lover, but also just her whole career. It's like incongruous to like who Taylor Swift is. It's like,
Right.
wait, what? You don't want to
Wanting
get
the love
wait,
and the
when did you
fairy
become
tale.
this person that
Yeah.
didn't want marriage?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, oh, I'm sad. Like I thought that she always wanted that. Like it never sat right with me. And you know, people are using it also as other speculations, things like that.
Yeah,
But I feel like this confirms that she always did want the marriage and she was
for sure.
trying to make herself think that she didn't want to and wrote this. So it
Completely
totally
agree.
like when as soon as that was the first song, like I think I'm like, duh, that makes so much sense.
I
And all a
also,
lot of these do. Any love song makes
oh, for
sense.
sure. And I was
Um,
gonna say one that like when I saw it on the playlist, I was like, huh. And then I like remembered like thought of the lyrics in my head and I was like, why did I ever think this was a like happy song? Was Willow.
Happy.
Or
Why
not happy, but
or
like
why
a
don't you think it's
positive love
happy?
song. The more that you say, the less I know.
Oh, like him.
Wherever you stray, I follow. I'm begging for you to take my hand, wreck my plans. That's my man.
Oh, like the fact that like she is the one chasing and he's not
Yeah,
doing.
and it's just more of like I will do whatever you need me to do And like
Yeah.
obviously in the context of like in the way the song sounds, like it doesn't come off that way, but like when she puts it in the denial playlist, I'm like, yeah, that's someone
Yeah, it
literally
makes
clinging to
sense.
false hope of a in a
Yes,
relationship. And I was like, why did I
absolutely.
not think of this when I
But
was listening to it the first time?
similar to what you're saying. I have two almost not contradicting, but like different thoughts on it. One kind of disagreeing, one agreeing. But we talked about this before. Like, I still think it is and can be like a love song. So like the fact that like Lover's on here, there was a lot of discourse where people are like, how embarrassing that you use that as
Mm-hmm.
your wedding song when it's denial. And it's like, dude, that's what art is. You're supposed to interpret it how you
Right.
interpret it. That's why it's poetry. There are metaphors that are meant to be peeled back and interpreted in multiple different
And
ways.
she also very explicitly said that Lover, she wanted to write a song that could be a wedding
Right.
song.
But like that's just the one example that like I've seen.
Right.
But this goes
For
for
sure.
literally any song where the song "Breathe" Taylor wrote about a friendship, but not many people really view that song in their own lives. I feel like as the
As a
loss of
friendship.
friendship, it
Yeah.
feels more like
Right.
the loss of somebody that you loved, like
Mm-hmm.
a romantic thing. And that's the point. That's literally the point of art. Like once the artist sort of releases it into the world, it becomes everybody else's. It's not necessarily theirs to a certain
Well, and
extent
she kind of
anymore.
said that too,
With
at the Eras
with
tour.
Lover.
Yeah.
Yeah, right
Like,
before she plays Lover. Like, I want
mm-hmm.
this to be about you guys and the memories and the this and the that. And that's the point of art. Like, there are beautiful love lines in the song Lover and always will be that don't necessarily represent denial. Willow, I agree, not so much like what you're saying absolutely makes sense because it's like the girl or the person that's singing the song, the perspective of the song is like they're doing everything, they're begging this person, and that's not how it should be. The way that I look at it though too is like you could also see it as like now that like I will do anything it takes for us to be together, but it's only from one perspective. The other person also could be doing those same
Oh
things, like
yeah.
whatever. It could be a two-way street. However, it seems like it was not a two-way street. So I still feel the same way. However, I do also kind of always not saw it as a denial song like that. But I have flipped my perspective on it literally for my own life based on what I'm going through. Like I remember when it first came out, I'm like, yeah, this makes so much sense because what Taylor said herself is like when you start liking somebody, you have a crush on somebody, and you'll literally like do everything in your damn power to make them like you back, like the bait and
Mm-hmm.
switch. You'll like trick them into like falling for you or like whatever it is. Like you will change fate and you will force will like bending life is a willow, like a strong tree, but it's gonna bend to my wind. Like I'm controlling fate, um, which is delusion. And I will again, I will step out of my way and out of my personality to make you like me, kind of thing. Um, which I totally can relate to. And then the other side of it, then when I'm in a relationship, I'm like, no, that's so beautiful. Of thinking we will do anything to make it work and to be together and I'm here for you no matter what. So like you can absolutely see it
Mm-hmm.
in many different ways. But I do think that you're right. Like at its most obvious, it seems like and because Taylor said it herself, she never said it was about her relationship. She said it's when you want to be with somebody and you will
Mm-hmm.
literally do anything in your power to do that. You're going to act like a crazy person.
And it's almost similar to like your thought on Bejeweled, where like maybe again, Willow was not written in any sense in her head about her.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she's looking at her songs to put on this playlist, it's like, oh, yeah, I
Those
might have,
feelings came from
I did
somewhere.
that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and
Like,
it
so
wasn't
maybe
from
that
before
is,
when we were dating. Like the issue is if you are writing or relating to Willow from a perspective of having a crush, it makes sense. If you're writing in that perspective with that desperation and it's a one-way street while you're in a relationship, that isn't good. And I think exactly what you just said. She was trying to put out in the world in denial, yeah, this isn't about me or how I feel. It's just like when you have a crush on someone, like thinking back to like my fearless days, she didn't say that, but like in my head, like my fearless days, like, well, you do anything, you're
mm-hmm.
crazy. But really, like she was probably doing it in that moment.
I mean, it's similar to us being so blatantly ignoring that Tolerate It was a track 5 that she was trying to say wasn't necessarily about,
Yeah,
like, I mean, the whole concept of Folklore and Evermore was that it's not necessarily pulled from her life. Like, and we all were just like, yeah, it's not necessarily pulled from her life. What a sad song. And then
because it's about
obviously,
a book. Yeah,
right. And then obviously, once everything is now in hindsight, it's like, yeah, there's a reason she probably felt that book so deeply to write a song
exactly, and
about it.
felt the need and pulled to write it.
Yeah.
Now that I've seen like this discourse online, like we've been telling you for years, you Swifties, you're idiots, like, you know, the split of the fandom saying like we told you. But I will say that the Tolerate It thing, the second that they broke up in the first article that came out that said like he wasn't cool, like the private life and stuff, like that was my first thought was like
Oh yeah.
Tolerate It
Oh no. And
was
yeah, and I'm just
and
saying that like we
yeah,
didn't
but
think
now
about Tolerate It before they broke up.
no. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I
And
agree.
I
It was
remember
like,
when we
oh,
watched the Eras tour with my friends, I might have said this before, my friends and my friend Alex, who is not, doesn't, like, she likes Taylor Swift is fine, but like, um,
put your
she
balance.
did listen to Evermore with me, like, when it came out. But once Evermore played, and of course, you're watching like a whole play in front of you for Tolerate
Yeah.
It with the table and all this, she looked over at me and she said, that's definitely about her, how she felt in her relationship. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, it's crazy that somebody who is not even
Mm-hmm.
in on all of the lore of Taylor Swift looked at that song once and said that was definitely about Joe Alwyn. And I'm
Right.
like, crazy. Yeah, like
No, I agree.
it seems like super obvious. Okay, one other thing that I want to say or talk about on this playlist because all the other ones make sense. They're like one and a half things. Betty, um, which takes I've seen this online. I didn't think of this myself, but it makes so much sense and it's sad. The Folklore Long Pond studio sessions. She says,
I know.
"Oh yeah, in my head, they get back together. They get back together after it all." Like, and they're like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, like that's how I see it. It works out in my head." So of course, at the end of Betty, it's like, "And I showed up at your party, will you?" Kind of like the after of the cheating, they get back together. So now this love triangle is like, oh my God, it was real, and she just hid it under a high school thing.
I forgot that we haven't talked about this because I wanted to talk about it because I watched the Long Pond sessions the other day again and I was just like, wow. Because I remember like, like they kept showing that clip of Jack, like when she was talking about how Joe wrote the songs.
Yeah.
Really? He wrote that? Like,
Lyrics too? Yeah.
yeah, right. So like I was like, let me watch that again. And I remember it was so funny because like I remember when we first talked about the Long Pond sessions, I was upset
Yeah.
that she said
That
they
she
got
said
back
that. Yep.
together. And I
I
was
remember you.
like,
Yeah.
I wish they didn't. Like I kind of
Yep.
wish it ended. Like I didn't want that for whoever.
That relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want that for Betty. Like I wanted her to move on. So I was thinking that when obviously everything came out and they broke up and stuff and it's like, oh, damn, like
In her head,
Jack
she thought that they ended
again,
up together because she was
right.
talking about herself and she
Like,
was
oh,
in
these hardships
denial.
we went through, we made it through.
Yeah. Which then is like, feels like he definitely cheated. There's like 30,000 references to it.
Mm-hmm.
The last half thing that I wanted to say was because I've seen this online too, and I think both can be true, is that the ones that were written that she's putting in here that are on Midnight's Folklore, Evermore, Lover are definitely about Joe, and the other
Yes,
ones like
totally agree.
are what she felt when she was in other relationships. Like she wrote
100%.
Style when she was in denial about Harry Styles, and Wildest Dreams when she's still romanticizing that relationship, and
Right.
Treacherous and Untouched, like when she was in denial about other relationships that clearly were not working out and like they didn't like her back, but she was in denial that it could work.
No,
Or
I
that
totally agree. I don't
eventually
take
work.
anything I don't take anything before Lover as like a reference to how she was
Her
feeling about like Joe. And it's
right.
also like the ones past some of those ones that we could say were about Joe, like Lover and Beyond, also feel a lot more literal. Like with Style, we never go out of style. Like you're in denial. You broke up.
Right.
You do go out of style. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or like that's when that song is just like,
Yeah, like they're
I'm
gonna end
breaking
up
up with
back.
you, but do you want me back? Like I don't know. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
still
know.
trying to hope. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Like it's all sort of
It's like a it's you're idealizing this
right.
breakup and that we're gonna have the movie ending where yeah, we broke up but we're getting back together. Like we're
Yeah,
getting back
I think,
together.
and
We're getting
honestly,
back
I probably
together.
don't have a lot to say about a lot of the ones, you know, that are pre
Yeah.
lover
No, just
in
because
general.
I mean
But
there
yeah,
are some interesting things, but you know, we'll get to them because it's the other playlists. The other
yeah,
playlists are the reason I want to say that I don't necessarily think she's trying to give us little hints with
no,
Speak
completely
Now,
agree. I think
Fearless,
she was just
1989,
like,
and Red about
especially with
Joe.
those, it was more of like a what are these classified in my head? Oh, that would be most
Right.
related to denial or,
What songs did I write when I was in denial about something? What songs did I
right.
write when I was
Or like the
angry?
one with angry. Yeah, right.
Which he literally says, not
Right,
like, this
exactly.
is what Joe did to me. And I wrote about it 10 years ago. This is like, I was also angry when I
When
wrote
I wrote
these,
these
so they
ones.
fit into
Yes,
these playlists.
exactly.
Okay, should we move on to anger?
Yes.
Okay, so for anger, she says, well, the article says, when discussing the second stage of grief, Swift shared a little bit about her songwriting process. She said, these songs all have one thing in common. I wrote them while feeling anger. Over the years, I've learned that anger can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. But the healthiest way that it manifests itself in my life is when I can write a song about it. And then oftentimes that helps me get past it. This playlist is called You Don't Get to Tell Me About Sad Songs, which appeared on the cover of The Bolter. So it is going in
Okay.
order. The
Yep.
Bolter was the second one. So it's
Which
crazy
actually,
because
obviously that makes sense because the whole reason the fan theory got
yeah, the
brought up is
colors.
because the lyrics.
It was the lyrics and like there was like a color thing of like the stages of grief. But
Mm,
yeah. Because people were even guessing it before all of it came out. So yeah, so it's crazy though that she didn't do that intentionally, but it fits.
yeah.
And
Um,
maybe it was in who knows. Okay, so this is you don't get to tell me about sad.
about
So
sad.
anger. Do you want
So
to
we
read through all
have
the songs?
vigilante shit, high infidelity, would've, could've, should've, exile, illicit affairs, mad woman, tolerate it, bad blood, is it over now? I knew you were trouble. We are never getting back together. The last time, the moment I knew, babe, I bet you think about me. Dear John, better than revenge. Tell me why you're not sorry. Forever and always, Mr. Perfectly Fine.
Okay, so um
Most of these make complete sense to me.
yeah, and just okay, I just want to reiterate what she said again. I wrote these songs all have one thing in common. I wrote them while feeling anger.
Anger. Yep.
So what jumps out at me is Exile that she wrote with Joe. She
Yeah.
wrote them while feeling anger. So like
Yeah,
what?
that's true.
That's the
And also
everything else
illicit
makes
affairs.
sense. Yeah, those two. Okay, so
Because now illicit affairs, is it about Joe's illicit affair?
and
And
she
not
wrote
just
it
a
through the
random fucking
perspective. She wrote it through the perspective
of
of the
him?
other woman.
Yeah,
Like Joe saying
maybe.
goodbye to the other woman.
Right.
Like almost August all grown. Yeah, August all grown up. Like when because
Because
Mad Woman
illicit
makes sense. That's not about Joe.
100%.
That's about like
Scooter.
Scooter Braun.
Kanye, all
We
that.
already talked about Tolerate It.
Yeah.
But yeah, illicit affair. She wrote that while she was angry. So what the fuck?
What the fuck?
And also Exile, what the fuck? Because you
Yeah.
wrote that with
That's a good
Joe.
one.
Because like, so did he start writing that song? If he actually did, who fucking knows? But regardless, like,
Jack would say no.
yeah, like regardless, did were they literally angry with each other and like that was born out of like
I don't know.
a fight that they had and he was almost like begging for her back like I can see you standing honey with his arms around your body laughing but the joke's not funny at all as in like a way to get her not like a way to get her back but like he was sad because they had this fight. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to like make this
Unless,
logical in my brain.
yeah,
How they could write it together, but she wrote it while she was angry.
but then there's also pieces of it because I know like she always talks about like how like Bon Iver added the kind of like cyclical nature of the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd wonder, like, would it be another sort of like writing this, oh, me and Joe love sad songs, like not really trying to relate it to her life, but then hearing the call and response in the bridge of
Oh,
I gave so many signs, you didn't see the
yeah.
signs, like could that have been a similar to how like in You're Losing Me, it's like
Yeah, I was just
how
gonna
can you
say I
say
bit my
you love
nails.
someone you can't tell is dying?
Yep.
Like
I bit
was
my nails
that
down
maybe
to the
like
quick. I
she
sent
got
you.
angry because it was like, wait, like
She's like, fuck, I've been sending
you
him
don't
so
listen
many
to me.
signs.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know, like
Like this is gonna be us one day. Like real,
right.
like wake up and realize it. And yeah, like I sent you signals, bit my nails down to the quick. How could you? Yeah, like right. So maybe part of that song she wrote, and like he started it, and then she got angry
Yeah. I
finishing
don't
it,
know.
being like, "Motherfucker!" Like
Right.
I would also
Or
get angry though.
or is it hearing a verse he wrote about being jealous, like that verse you mentioned before,
Yeah, which
but
is what she said
then
he wrote.
right, but then you obviously like throughout the song you're hearing that like he wasn't paying enough attention, base kind of. Whereas
Right.
it like was she like
You could be that
you
self-aware and you
don't like
fucking
right, like
yeah.
you're talking about this like situation as if like oh I couldn't bear watching you be with someone else, but then it's like but you
But you're
don't give a shit about me in any
right.
other sense of life.
Yeah.
You don't listen to anything or like
Right.
like I don't know, like it's a
He's emotionally intelligent enough to write that and to obviously to be able to
but not to
understand like
see that right.
those emotions and the issues and the problems with it, but he can't actually be self-aware enough to realize that like he's literally doing the thing that they're
Right.
fighting over in the song that you're writing about, which is
Right.
like like hello, what, yeah. That
Yeah.
would make me angry. I mean,
Me
for
too.
sure. But
I would totally agree. Like, oh, you can see it in this situation of writing a song, but you can't see that it's happening in real life
yeah. Both of those songs though are wildly interesting to be
in
on
here.
that playlist because they're not like illicit affairs. There's anger in the song, like "Don't call me kid, don't call me baby." Look at this, but like for her to specifically point out these are songs that I wrote while feeling anger is
Hmm.
not. These are songs that express feelings of anger. She said,
Well,
"I
because
was
I was gonna say
angry."
because it's also like those two are like pretty starkly different from like the attitude that comes off in a lot of the other ones. Like
Right.
we knew she was pissed in Mr. Perfectly Fine forever and always. Like I knew you were
Of
trouble.
course,
The
you
moment
hear
I
it,
knew, I bet you think about me. Like Dear
babe. Yeah.
John, Better Than Revenge. Like we know, we can tell by the tone in her voice that she's fucking angry. So it's like weird, like especially with Exile it didn't feel like it like
It's
as much as both of
loss.
those songs like have anger in them, it didn't feel like they were written from a place of anger, which is why yeah,
Yes,
they're
both of those songs
interesting.
are more like the law. It's more about feeling sadness because of the loss that you're experiencing, and there's anger in it, like both in the bridges. But again, for her to say that she was angry
When
while
she
writing
wrote
them is
them.
just super, super,
Yeah.
super interesting. Because she didn't say these songs all have one thing in common. They express a form of anger. It says I wrote them while
While I
feeling
was
anger. So it's
angry.
just like
Yeah.
it's just interesting.
Yeah,
The
it
rest makes
is.
sense though. And
Oh,
then I saw
totally.
people saying like, see, it's clear he cheated on her, which I do think that like she's been hinting at that, but they're like pointing out Babe, Better Than Revenge, and Mr. Perfectly
No, and
Fine. But I
I
just think
totally
that has
agree with
nothing to
you.
do with Joe.
It doesn't. Like
It
again,
just
like
she
she
was
said,
angry
written
while
from a
she wrote
place of
these
anger.
songs.
So she wrote
Right.
I totally agree. But illicit affairs does make me question it again. Obviously, we've been talking about how he probably cheated on her, but
Right.
like
But just
illicit
those
affairs is
songs, I don't
yeah.
think she was trying to hint to us that he cheated on her
Absolutely
through
not.
these old
I think,
songs.
and again, like you could hear her anger in Forever and Always. That was one of the reasons when Taylor's
Right.
version came out, we weren't as pumped. You know what I mean? Like it
Yes,
didn't
because I was
feel
like,
as
where's the
emotional.
Agar? I want
So,
this
like,
ass. Yeah.
right. So I feel like, yeah, this
Damn. I hope we
agreed.
get an angry voice, like her emotion, anger, like we
I feel like we're
got
gonna
with like Forever and Always on the album.
I feel like we will. I mean, we did get it in Midnights. Like, think about it. Like, we did get would have, could have, should have, and
Yeah, but that was like heart wrenching, sad anger. I mean, like I want the
I know,
sassy
but like
anger.
when you think about how we got anger in an album that wasn't so fresh in its wounds from what we thought, right? Like a fresh breakup will probably promote more like snarky
Yes,
anger
well, it's because
than
it's the second stage of grief. It's number two, you
right.
know? You haven't got to the depression part. So sometimes she writes from the depression stage, but the anger stage, like I'm thinking you could have My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys and The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. Like
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah.
maybe Fresh Out the Slammer, we'll see. Um, okay, should we move on to the
Yeah.
third?
What's the third?
The third is
Bargaining, right?
I believe it's bargaining. Crap. I just was there and then I like second guessed myself and scrolled all the way back. Yep. Bargaining. So she says, the third stage. This playlist takes you through the songs that I've written when I was in the bargaining stage. Times when you're trying to make deals with yourself or someone that you care about. You're trying to make things better. You're oftentimes feeling really desperate because oftentimes we have a gut intuition that tells us things are not going to go the way that we hope, which makes us more desperate, which makes us bargain more. The playlist is called Am I Allowed to Cry, which appeared on the cover of the Albatross edition of the Tortured Poets. This is the album cover that I like the most, that I really
Yeah.
want to get. So how do you connect that lyric, Am I Allowed to Cry, with bargaining? Just out of curiosity.
That
'Cause
one
I'm
was hard
trying
for me, I
to make
think.
it fit and I can't.
I know. I agree. Like I thought, well, because you know how I said I forgot which order I was going in?
Yeah.
Like when we were talking, like when you were mentioning bargaining, I was like, oh, that's probably Old Habits Die Screaming. Like, because I could see
Right.
that. Like you're just trying, but I don't really.
Because
I don't
maybe it's
really
like
see it.
she's afraid to cry because she thinks like she could ruin it, but like she's the one that's like sad, but she doesn't, she's trying to bargain, like, okay, I won't cry, like, all right, I'm not gonna cry anymore, and then we could stay together. Like,
Right.
I just don't
And,
complain.
and I guess maybe we can think about it with like the first song on This Is the Great War,
Right.
where
Which
it's
is what I was
like,
just thinking. Where like I promise
yeah,
I
like
won't.
you're trying, right? We'll be together forever if we survive the Great War. Like maybe you're not like you are trying so hard to keep it that you are not letting yourself feel the emotions. And maybe that's the
Mhm.
like, am I allowed to cry? Because maybe it's, but if I do, it'll be done or it will have
Right.
to let it go or something. Like
Right. Or
that one
and
was
we made this deal like no more crying and we could be together, like kind of thing.
right. Or
So
like,
she's
yeah, like
like
similar to like in the
she
Great
has to
War when it's
ask
like,
permission,
yeah,
basically.
no,
And that was part of the bargain,
I guess
in a
that's
sense.
like, right. Or like similar to like, if he did cheat on her, we keep talking about this, but if he did cheat on her, right? Like, and they stay together or work through it, stay together, there does come a point where, like, if you stayed, you can't harp on it. Like, you can't hurt the
Right.
person
You can't
with it anymore
forever.
because you agreed. Because I remember, like, in college, I did that with
Yeah.
my ex boyfriend. I was like, well, because I remember him saying, like, you can't hold this over my head. Like,
Right.
and I was like, you're actually kind of right. Like,
There's truth
I
to it. If you
agreed to
can't get
stay
over it, you shouldn't
here.
be together.
Right, exactly. So like, yeah, I can't hold it over your head. So I feel like maybe that's part of like the am I allowed to cry because
Right.
I'm not supposed to be reacting anymore to this situation. So I shouldn't, can I? Like, are you going
Right.
to get mad if I do because I'm still sad about it or I'm still working through it?
Yeah.
Like maybe that's kind of what it
And like he has all the power basically.
right.
Um okay, do you want to read off the
Yeah.
songies?
So in Am I Allowed to Cry? Bargaining, we have The Great War, This Is Me Trying, Peace, The Archer, Cornelia Street, Death by a Thousand Cuts, Soon You'll Get Better, Afterglow, I Wish You Would, Say Don't Go, Come Back, Be Here, Better Man, The Story of Us, Haunted, Come In With the Rain, The Other Side of the Door, If This Was a Movie, and Renegade.
Okay. Soon You'll Get Better. Is that I think that's more like the false like hope of like obviously about her
I think
mom
it's like bargaining with like God.
with God. Yeah.
Yeah, to be
Like
like,
if I
please.
pray, I
Right,
promise, which I yeah, no, I bet like I swear to God I'll go to church every single if you just do
right.
this one, like please God, just keep her alive. I promise, I promise, I promise. Desperate people find faith, so now I pray to Jesus too.
Right.
Um, which is
No,
so
I,
heartbreaking. But a
yeah.
different take on that level of grief. Like grief isn't just like the stages of grief, of course, is not reserved only for relationships and like
Mm-hmm.
loss of a relationship. It's also we grieve over many things. And obviously the most probably deep level of grief is like the loss of life of a loved one,
For
not just
sure.
like breaking up. So it
Right.
makes sense, but it just like for a
Jars.
second I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like I had to think about it.
But I do see like a lot of the songs on here are definitely that like, what did she say in it? Like
The intuition. Well, the one false hope. Um, you have a gut intuition that tells us things are not going to go the way that we hope, which makes us more
yes,
desperate,
that's what
which
it is.
makes us
Because I'm
bargain
looking at
more.
like, come in with the rain, come back, be here, the other side of the door, say don't go. Like all of them are like, come back to me.
It's like either
Like,
begging, yes,
right.
almost like a sense of like begging for them back, or this. So, see, I'm confusing myself again. Now I'm getting stuck again. I was going to start explaining like the denial stage, like trying to like peace. Like, will it be enough if I never give you peace? Oh yeah, I guess it's bargaining because she's saying like, look at all the things that I could give you. Like I promise. Like, is it
Yeah.
okay? Like, I'll
Well,
give
and
you my wild, I'll give you my child, but is it
so,
enough
and I
if
was
I
going to
don't
say,
give you
so the
peace?
Spotify playlist that because I didn't have Apple Music, so I don't get her voice notes. The Spotify playlist just puts general like definitions of the stage. And like the first line is it bargaining, where we often negotiate. And I feel like a lot of these are that. It's like
Yeah,
come back, be here is, hey, we would just come back and be here. Don't be in London or don't be in
right,
New York and we'll have a great time. And like I think peace is negotiating. Like I can do this, this, and this.
right.
We good? Like you
Yeah, is
cool
it a
with that?
deal? Even
Like
trade? Yeah, absolutely. And then of course, I'm sorry if you guys hear my dog barking. I don't know what's anyway, Renegade I thought a lot about after the breakup too, and we
me
have
too.
probably talked about it or maybe you did when you did this solo
I
podcast
didn't actually.
um that it makes sense that she wrote this about Joe now. Like get your shit together so that I could love you.
Is it
And
insensitive?
she's sort of bargaining saying like I want to love you. I want to do all these things, but
Right.
like
Or do you just not want to?
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Death by
And
a thousand
like
cuts.
I was just gonna touch on Cornelia Street too.
Yeah.
Like it's bargaining.
Yeah, it's like
Like
this
I will never
false
walk this place again
right.
if we break up.
But
So
that reminds me of the line oftentimes we have a gut intuition that tells us things are not going to go the way that we hope. She had this gut
mm-mm.
intuition which is like it is
I
true.
hope I never lose you. I hope it
Yeah,
never
why would
ends.
if you're that confident in your relationship, you're not ever going to say I hope I don't lose you. I hope it never ends. I'll never walk Cornelia Street again. Like you don't really feel that way if you're in a secure place.
Right.
Now, I obviously like have a deep love for this
Mm-hmm.
song, but like the reason being is because it to me reminds me one obviously personal like connection memories, but like beyond that of the first stages of falling in love with somebody
Mm-hmm.
when you don't 100% know how they like see like your long-term future when you're falling for somebody, not when you're
Yeah.
in a secure relationship for X amount of years, but maybe within the first few months of the relationship where you're like, oh my God, I'm really falling for this person and I really, really hope I don't lose them because damn, it's gonna hurt like hell.
Right.
And so like you shouldn't be in that falling in love, scary but exciting stage when she's at the point of writing lover, when she's 3 years into that relationship.
Right. Because when you compare it to things like songs like Lover and Paper Rings on the same album where it's like so clearly talking about the future. Like, I don't know. And I do think like Cornelia Street is written from the perspective of an
The
like
early
early
stage.
on
Well,
in
she
their
says that.
relationship. Yeah. So like,
That was looking, because it literally says like when they first met,
right, exactly.
but at the same time, like putting it on the album 3 years later, like alongside Lover and Paper Rings. It's like, yes, she could have wrote that from the perspective like, oh, I want to write about how I felt when we were falling in love and like when I thought it wasn't going to work around and you turned around, because it literally is about the beginning of like the relationship, like if you like read the lyrics of the song. But like maybe she was still feeling those feelings 3 years in,
Yeah. I mean,
kind of
that could
thing.
be.
Like that she still had that gut intuition that like, oh, and she says that she had a really horrible feeling and she ended things or tried to end things with Joe, and he was like, no, I want to make this work. But she had a horrible feeling it wasn't going to work. She had that intuitive feeling.
Yeah.
um Death by a Thousand Cuts. Now I don't get how that's bargaining, unless it's the perspective of like,
Maybe it's not being able to let it go.
yeah,
Like I look through the windows of this love, even though we boarded them up, like I can't pretend
chandelier still
like still
flickering
flickering
here.
here. Like maybe
Yeah.
it's more of the like I know you're like similar to like I don't know, like I know you we're done, but like I'm still
Yeah, like
and
come
maybe
back,
it's
be
like
here.
yeah, like I don't know. Like
Or maybe, but then this would kind of be like denial, which is where it's getting a little like ambiguous. But she wrote that based on the movie.
yeah.
Um and they wrote that based on Clean, but it could be one of those things where like they did break up. They had the breakup because of like Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn, and she kind of wrote that this song when they broke up and like maybe showed it to Joe as like this how she feels like to bargain to get back
Maybe.
together. So like the song itself isn't like a
Right,
song
way
of
more
bargaining, but this is
right.
literally what she wrote when she was trying to bargain with him.
I mean, it could be because like all signs do point to like since we saw so little of them, we obviously don't know if they had breakups before the final one, but like all signs point to there was at least one because
Yeah.
now Hits Different cannot be about anybody but Joe. You know what I
Right. And
mean? Like,
yeah, 100%. And how could you like, and obviously that she wrote that before they officially broke up. So,
and when you think about the Hits
and you're
Different bridge
losing me.
now, I find the artifact cry over curse like I trace the evidence
Oh,
and we're getting a lot of like those like artifact evidence shit with
yeah,
tortured
you're
poets.
so
So maybe
right.
like as much as I like already did think it was about Joe, like because I was like, who
Yeah,
would make her this upset?
with
And
specific
also
word
with the like, I
choice.
hear your key in the door. Like she didn't live with anybody else. Like so
Oh,
maybe
or
that's
have
just
they come to take
another
me away because she was going so insane?
right.
And she's
Like
like, "Is
maybe
that
that
your
was
key in the
just
door, or are they coming to take me away?"
yeah.
Wow. That's
So
actually
maybe
such a
she's
good
like kind
point.
of I don't know, interesting.
But
Interesting.
yeah, this it's just it's all interesting. Um,
Want to go to FOA?
I do, yeah. There some of the song bargaining is probably the one that because I'm like the story of us like that's the one I really have to like really think of it the most. You know what I mean? It's not so straightforward like how those songs
Yeah.
fit into bargaining. Okay, depression. We love depression. Um, okay, this is the fourth stage. And Swift said, "We are going to be exploring the feelings of depression that often lace their way through my songs. In times like these, I'll write a song because I feel lonely or hopeless. I'll write a song because I feel lonely or hopeless. And writing a song feels like the only way to process that intensity of an emotion. And while these things are really, really hard to go through, I often feel like when I'm either listening to songs or writing songs that deal with this intensity of loss and hopelessness, usually that's in the phase where I'm close to getting past that feeling. This playlist is called Old Habits Die Screaming. which appeared on the cover of the Black Dog edition. Okay, so this one's out. Isn't the Black Dog the last one? What's Acceptance? Real quick, like what?
I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. So maybe it's just the song.
Yeah, like what is
Because
that
that's a
tied to?
song on Tortured Poets.
Okay, so maybe it's
So maybe
just
that's what she did.
yeah, just to have like 5 stages because there's only 4
Yeah.
bonus tracks, right?
I don't know. I think so.
Manuscript, Albert. Yeah, so Old Habits Die Screaming.
So she's got Bigger Than the Whole Sky, Dear Reader, Maroon, You're Losing Me, My Tears Ricochet, Epiphany, Hoax, Champagne Problems, Coney Island, Right Where You Left Me, Nothing New, All Too Well, Forever Winter, We Were Happy, Last Kiss, Castles Crumbling, Carolina, and White Horse.
Okay, so again, lonely or hopeless, depression, really hard to go through, and Old Habits Die Screaming. What jumps out to you there?
Um, well, so a lot of them make sense, I guess I would say.
Yeah,
I don't have any questions about the folklore picks. I don't really have any questions about the Evermore picks.
agree.
Not really with Red either, or Fearless, I guess, or Speak Now. Carolina confuses me
Me too.
because I'm just like, you wrote that for a movie?
I guess because like maybe
This,
she read the book and felt like she could relate to it, and there is she whatever the character's name was, because I love to think that it's Carolina, was
can't
very
remember her name now.
isolated.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, right.
And
I
so like
agree.
maybe
Like,
she also like related to it and then wrote a song for it.
right.
But it also does deal with a lot of isolation and being lonely, feeling hopeless in a sense, like the movie, the book itself. And so maybe she just like related to it and therefore wrote that song.
Yeah.
Which is the only thing I can really think. Because the song itself isn't one of loneliness.
Yeah. And then I was going to say the only other, like, the Midnight selections kind of confuse me.
Bigger
Not
Than the
You're
Whole Sky
Losing
makes
Me
sense.
or Bigger Than the Whole Sky. Yeah.
Not
Dear
what was the
Reader,
first one?
Bigger Than the Whole Sky and You're Losing Me makes
Yeah,
sense.
agree.
Dear Reader and Maroon have me a little confused.
I get them. I know what you mean. So Maroon, because it's like I lost you, the one I was dancing with in New York. Like it's sad. It's a breakup song.
It is
It's
sad.
The tone is sultry. Like it's
That's
like
what, I guess, and that's why. I guess it doesn't sound as sad to me
right.
as it is. Yeah.
Because when we have our recording and we posted like our reaction to the song, and when it's like, and I lost you, because at first it doesn't say that. I was like, it's breakup. It's breakup.
Yeah.
It's breakup. Because I didn't realize at first, because it just sounds so sultry and like, and then
Yeah.
the end, and this is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And
I guess I get Dear
It's-
Reader now too.
yes, Dear Reader definitely to me is a place of depression. She's literally
Right.
saying like,
Never take
literally,
advice from
guys,
someone who's
don't take
falling
advice
apart.
from me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a fucking depressed piece of shit. Like,
Right. No, I guess it does make sense. A lot of these do make sense.
yes, there's nothing that is odd to me here.
Yeah. I agree.
Right Where You Left Me, I could see also being in denial, but I guess
Denial,
it's
for
so
sure.
far past the first
For sure.
stage that it has to be in depression because it's like,
Everybody
damn,
moved
so
on.
fucking
Yeah.
passes.
Right. Right.
Like, my
No,
God,
I
get
agree.
over it. Yeah, the rest of them completely make sense to me, probably. But Old Habits Die Screaming. Can we explain? So I know that the saying is Old Habits Die Hard, but what does that also mean? Like, it's hard to break bad habits. It's hard to break habits, especially like an old dog. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, kind of thing. Like,
Oh, in
the
terms of the
longer you
black
have a
dog?
habit, you know the saying like you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So sort of this similar vibe, but opposite. Like the older that we are and the longer that we have a habit, the harder it is to break them.
Yeah. I agree.
That what Old Habits Die Screaming mean? Like it's
Yeah,
hard
I
to
took
break
old
your old
habits.
habits.
I took Old Habits Die Screaming as like, right, like I will fight tooth and nail to not get rid of this habit or something. You know what I mean?
Kind of like the
I will go fighting to like stop biting my nails, or like I will go fighting to
Right.
end this relationship. Like like whatever the habit is that you're
Yeah.
trying to break, whatever thing you're trying to break, you will not go
Or like
willingly.
depression is like the hardest feeling to actually feel and to get through. So this is the
Right.
most difficult phase to get through. It's not going to just be like la la la. You're going to be screaming the
And
whole
how
time
like
you're going
people
through
always
it.
say, like, it's like it's not a one-time thing. Like depression sneaks up on you when you least expect it and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, yeah, it can always come back to
Right.
you.
And like haunt you and like spook you, and you're going to be like,
Right.
you're still there. Like and then also it also makes me think like the longer, just another metaphor, I guess, the Band-Aid is on and gets stuck to your skin, the worse it's going to be to rip off, kind of thing. Like to go through this, the old habits, the longer that you wait to get through that stage of depression, to feel everything, the worse that you're, like the more that you're going to feel it, the more you're going to scream as you're going through it, kind of thing. Like it's just like pure, like it's just painful ultimately.
Yep.
And then finally we have
Acceptance.
Which said for the final stage, Swift assembled more hopeful songs. Here we finally find acceptance and can start moving forward from loss or heartbreak, she said. These songs represent making room for more good in your life, making that choice, because a lot of time when we lose things, we gain things too. This playlist is called I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, which is the same name as one of the tracks on the album.
Okay, so within acceptance, we have You're on Your Own, Kid, Midnight Rain, Labyrinth, The One, August, Invisible String, Happiness, Long Story Short, Closure, Evermore, It's Time to Go, I Forgot That You Existed, Daylight, This Love, Clean, Now That We Don't Talk, Begin Again, Innocent, and White Horse, which I thought we just had White Horse.
Wait. It doesn't end with Breathe?
Oh, maybe this person has it wrong in the Spotify.
Sorry, because I have it, because I don't think you sent me the playlist, but this, I said view in Apple Music, so I'm trying to look at it here. So I'm just going to read, tell me if it's the same thing, because this is, I just clicked the link from Apple Music. You're on Your Own, Kid, Midnight Rain, Labyrinth, The One, August, Invisible String, Happiness, Long Story Short, Closure, Evermore, It's Time to Go, I Forgot That You Existed, Daylight, This Love, Clean, Now That We Don't Talk, Begin Again, Innocent, Breathe.
I think they just put White Horse again instead of Breathe.
By accident.
Because everything else was right. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think there's some that confuse me. So Acceptance, Midnight Rain confuses me.
Yeah, I agree. Unless it's just accepting that, like,
we weren't meant to be. You were sunshine, I was midnight rain.
For me, and you're getting it with someone else, and I'm happy for you. You never think of me except when I'm on TV. Like, that's cool.
Right. Like, that's just how
like
life
similar
is.
to like The One vibes.
Right.
Like,
it would have been fun if we were the one, but we weren't.
Cool,
like,
but like, I understand we're different, and like,
right.
It's okay.
Right. Those songs aren't coming from a place of like, shit, can we get back together? It's like clear if you're listening to The One that it's fine.
They're
like,
fine.
It's just like, it would have been fun. We had a good run.
Right. Exactly.
August.
Yeah. What? I didn't really process that until I was looking at the list.
See us lost in. Oh, well, no, actually that makes sense, because it's the girl, the one that the mistress basically saying like,
back when we were still changing for the better.
You were never mine though, so it makes sense. Like, August slipped away into a moment.
Yeah, because it is clearly her looking back on that.
Yes.
Not like, so okay. All
not
right.
hoping for it, just like looking back and being like, damn, I really wanted you, blah, 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 but you were actually never mine, and I understand that, and I can accept it, and I can look back on it and understand. Invisible String, I see as, I saw people confused about it, but then saying like, no, it's acceptance of like possibly her relationship with Joe, as like now she's in the acceptance stage where there was an invisible string. Like it's the idea of fate that brought them together.
Yeah.
And all of those things were true. There is no lies in that song, but the strings have split now apart in other directions. Right. And maybe her telling us that she's also like, she's not wounded by that song in a sense, maybe.
Yep. And maybe there's another invisible string.
Happiness makes sense.
All of Evermore makes so much sense. Long story short, I survived.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just
it was a bad time. I fell down the rabbit hole, climbed right back up again.
The song itself But just like thinking about it like that, it's similar to like invisible string. Like I have to just do a little bit of gymnastics to be like, is she talking about that song is about acceptance, or she is telling us that like,
Oh, I think the song is about acceptance.
okay, yeah, because you know
Like,
how like the ones, yes, okay,
because long story short and Evermore are the same. They're about the same thing,
uh huh.
like
We went through the
Kim and
trenches.
Kanye. Yeah, right. And that like all of the stuff that happened in 2016 and then coming out the other side of it, but like
Yeah,
Joe having helped her come out the other side of it. I take these two though as like more of the literal, like not so much as Joe helping her, but as I've gotten past those events in my life.
right.
Like the acceptance of like literally all the 2016 crap, I think, is like more of what I see if she puts these songs on
That's
here
true.
than like
Yeah,
than the aspect of Joe being the one to help her out of it. I think it's more of a like, no, I'm out. I like
like accept. Yes, I see
I
what you're saying.
survived
Not
that. I'm
relationship.
through it.
Yeah,
Like I'm, whatever
yeah,
that
that makes sense. And then,
like if like with closure, like if there were hints of Joe in closure, you'd still ultimately take it as I like as a song of like, I don't need your closure. You're good. Like if she
right,
added a line like, oh, because my man's right by me, I don't need your closure, like I
it's
still
still
would take it as
about the
more of
other
like,
thing.
I'm closing the page on you.
Yes,
I don't need you anymore to make me
right,
feel better about what's going on. Like that's
right.
kind of why I feel like the other two are still
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It just is like, which I think you're totally right. Like, long story short, and Evermore are more about how the love helped her through and are more like focus on the love, but it is talking about getting over that,
that.
which makes
Right.
sense. Whereas closure is very much more about that. But you're right. It's that she's definitely talking about acceptance of everybody hating her and like all that shit. She's
Right.
just like accepted it and she's moved on
Yeah.
from accepted that situation, not necessarily like yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then the same thing with Daylight, which is obviously a love letter to Joe, but it's about underlyingly about how she had so much darkness in her life because of the Kim Kanye and all that stuff, and now she sees daylight. So she's accepted that like she's moved past that situation, which makes sense.
Yeah. And I feel like it's also like, even with the end of the song when she's like, I want to be surrounded by the things that I love, like, I feel like that's also just a big, not the things that I hate. Like, that's a big piece of acceptance. Like,
Yeah.
you are not weighed down by the things that made you hurt in a situation because
Right.
you're focusing on the better things in your life. Um,
Yeah. Absolutely. And then
I
clean,
love the
obviously.
1989 track selection here. All of them make sense, especially like now that we don't talk makes sense to me because it's like I don't have to pretend I
Right.
like acid rock because it's kind of just being like actually didn't really enjoy a lot of the stuff I was doing with you, like for you and maybe with you. So like now I don't have to do that anymore. So like I'm feeling better.
And yeah, absolutely. And it's like a fun one also. Of course, begin again,
Yeah, totally.
which is accepting the like the other relationship and making, as she said, making space for the good things, and the innocent makes sense too. Looking back on the Kanye situation, and forgiveness basically comes with that, and breathe. Interesting.
Yeah, breathe out like
Maybe it's acceptance of the fact that like I can't have you in my life anymore, and like
right.
I'm accepting that.
It's never simple, never easy,
Right.
never a clean break. And it's almost like it's written from the perspective of like, it's already happened.
Right.
And like, I just need to accept that we are not, well, in this
Right.
case, friends anymore.
Right. Yeah. I love that she did that. I think
I do
it's so
too. I
cool.
just like, because I feel like she's never, as much as she's obviously very literal in some of her songs, like in telling us what these songs are about, like, I feel like she's never like talked about them like or not even obviously she didn't talk about them but like she's never put them into like buckets for us of these types of things where it's like I could sit here all day and think about why she picked this song for that and like
Right.
I don't know because it's not like oh we're all just guessing and putting things into buckets we would like to see it's like no she did it.
She
So it's
dropped
just
everything
like,
in the buckets.
man, I don't know. It's so interesting. Like
It is. It really
I'm so
is.
surprised she did it, honestly. Like
She's done similar things before, like made playlists, but they didn't make as much sense like this. It wasn't
yeah.
this cool, to be honest. I forget what it was in the past, but I just remember being like, this is stupid. But like this to me is actually very, very cool
Mm-hmm.
because it adds like the beauty of writing and like good writing. And like I tell my students is like the more layers that you could peel back from something, even from a
Yeah.
singular line, is like the better because it's more, it has more value, right? It adds value, it adds depth. And her doing this just added another
For
piece,
sure.
another layer to these songs.
100%.
Some of them more obvious where we're like, oh yeah, so it doesn't necessarily add, like we've already put it there, but the other songs it does. It completely adds, in some cases, 2 or 3 layers that we're now looking at it in like 3 or 4 different sort of perspective or through 3
Yeah.
or 4 different lenses than we were in the first place.
Right.
So it's like it's just adding depth to all these songs and which is I think really cool.
Agreed.
And I'm excited to see if she's gonna then update these playlists after like a week to with the songs from the
Yeah, it
album
would be
because obviously
interesting.
I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is going to be the acceptance song. Like we kind of know like it
Right.
should be the
Yeah,
Black
I'd
Dog
like to
is
see if she does it um in general, like when Reputation, Taylor's version comes out, is she gonna put them
right.
like
Yeah, well
is
these
this just to, promo,
promo, yeah.
or is she
I
gonna
kind
go
of feel
back
like
here?
yes,
Yeah, 100%.
but I do
100%.
think she maybe will
She
add
maybe would
this
put,
album.
yeah, agreed.
But depending on when Reputation comes out, but that would be interesting because those are the real love songs. And so where do those go? Are those going to Denial? Like what? But we'll see. Um, so I'm so excited. I
Me
think
too.
the final thing that we don't have to spend too much time on, but I mean unless we want to, but is Coachella.
Coachella.
And as per usual, I've just been doing nothing but consuming that content and watching the same videos, exact videos over and over again, watching
Yep.
the same scenario in different perspectives. And like,
Yep.
I feel horrible because we're
I
watching.
know.
If
Because
you
you can
see, there's
really
this
see
one
all the
video with
cameras too on
all the,
them. I know.
yeah, horrible. They knew it was going to, I know that they know what they're walking into,
Yeah.
but it's just still, I feel bad because like you are walking into, I guess, where the famous, like influencers and more famous people are, but like,
Right.
there's a one video I saw, and you know that when we went to the concert and there was a girl literally screeching into our ears.
Mm-hmm.
There was somebody screeching like that, like 3 feet away from her, and it's like, who is in the
Oh,
celebrity
God.
area that is? Oh my
Ridiculous.
what are you doing? It's not a concert. Like, she's 3 feet away from you. That made me feel bad, and like, it's sort of a double-edged sword. I'm I'm like so obsessed with the
I
content
know.
outside of that, but then there's like the guilt that I feel as soon as I see all the cameras that are really there. It's not just one sneaky camera. That's
I
a
know.
few sneaky cameras. People are just
I know
there's
it's
just
brutal. Like it
so
really is.
obvious.
But I guess at the same time, like you said, obviously they knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think people kept digging up like a quote she had from, I don't remember when, but it was something like, I just want to be able to like go to Coachella.
Oh, really? I didn't
I
see
think she
that.
said something. I was trying to find it while you were talking about the camera stuff, but I don't know who found it.
But she did go during Bleachella era, right?
I think so. Yeah, she did for sure to watch Calvin Harris.
Yeah. Just not since. That's so fun. I love that. Like again, she's just like got to be so normal with Trav
Yes,
during
like
that, and
literally so normal. And like let me look. Taylor Swift Coachella quote. It's not going to come up with anything. It was even like so like that video of him picking her up.
oh my god, that was my favorite thing in the world.
It literally was like so fucking funny.
So funny,
But also
and
it's
cute.
just because like I'm like, has she been able to be picked up by any of her
Literally no.
boyfriends because they're all smaller than her. I don't know.
And just like there's something so like dorky and adorable about it. She's just
Yes.
like has her
It was
hat
like a
or
little
like
gopher
looking
coming out of a
around
hole.
to try to
Yeah.
see it. And then like there's two videos, one with Ice Spice with Karma, and it's just so funny. Like she's just like listening to her own song.
Loving
Um
it. Yeah. I saw people
and
like, oh,
and they both like cheer at the same time.
yeah.
And then did you see the song, the video of her listening to Cruel Summer?
Yes, in the remix.
And then she's like, what? Which
Yes.
all of us would do, but it's just so funny that like she's experiencing like
Just normal things. Like I think I saw someone
her
tweet
own
that.
music in
Right.
a concert style. Like it's just so funny to
It was
watch.
someone tweeted it with the Ice Spice thing, and it was like, thank you, Ice Spice, for giving Taylor Swift the ability to be in a crowd and cheer on and
Yeah.
like sing along to a Taylor Swift song. Like,
Yeah.
because she's obviously.
And then I saw someone else say, did Taylor Swift just get a Taylor Swift shout out?
Sure
like
did.
just like Inception.
It was so fun to just see her like again just have a normal time and like they
And be
looked
drunk.
so happy
Yeah. And they're just drinking and drunk and like just so like in love.
and joking around and stuff. I loved
Yeah.
it. I
And
think it
like
just looks like they just look like they're so happy. And she looked like there's that one video. Okay, first of all, his hands are massive. Like that one video when he like,
oh
you
my
know,
God.
and the way she just like melts into his arms is like so cute with like how comfortable and like safe she must feel with him because like she would not have been going to Coachella. And I know that I'm sure her security was
yeah, you
right
can see
around there.
videos of the
But like,
security.
you know, it's like one of those things like she also was in a convertible with him on their first public outing. Like she clearly
Yeah.
feels safe and like comfort and like protection with him,
You
which
can
is
literally
just so
see it.
nice.
It's like it's so loud, that comfort. Like we can literally feel it from our phone screens. And they move as one. They move together.
Yeah.
They are like attached and not in a way
And
of
it
him like not letting go of her, but like
right.
they are magnets
It's
to each
so
other.
cute. And it also like it reminds and again, like the entire I guess experience and like what we saw, like it reminds me of like when we were talking about it when they first got together, when it was like, oh, she can be like the small girl, you know, like she can be the one that's not like the big power in the relationship as much as she obviously still is. Like she just got to be like a silly girl at Coachella.
Yes.
Like she just got to be that.
Oh,
So
and
cute.
oh my God. I still am holding my breath to see them at some sort of award show together. There was a video going around of her at what's the award show she was at when like we didn't know she was dating Trav, but like she
The
was and
VMAs.
the VMAs, and she was like so drunk and like she lost her ring and stuff.
Yeah.
She was dancing to was it Okay You're a Goon? What's a goon to a god? I was Lil Wayne. And
Yes.
she's
And
going
Trav
ham. And then there's a video at a different award show of Trav for the exact
doing the
same part of
same
the
thing.
song.
Yeah.
And they're just so, they are like one and the same. They're just,
I
and
know.
you see it in the way that they move together, the way that they interact. They just are so, it's just
I agree. And I also
everything.
love that she wore a New Heights hat
Yes.
because like Travis was getting that bullshit this week.
Oh, I know. For the people not realizing that he chugged a beer on his own live
His
show
podcast, it wasn't
where
an
they were
actual
doing like
graduation
spaghetti
ceremony.
wrestling.
Yeah, right. Like it was
Come
his
on.
podcast. It wasn't an actual graduation ceremony.
But
So I kind of love that like one, she wore it because like just supporting him in general, but two, like if it was a subtle nod to like the people that were hating on him this week to be like, shut the fuck up.
you. It's because there were like two halves of the internet. There was one like half of Swifties being like red flag, like this is just too much, too far, Taylor, like blah 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 blah. We got to get her safe and away from this kid that just won't ever
Literally.
grow up, like frat boy, blah blah blah, like ew.
Literally
And
so
then
crazy.
the other half of the internet that just wants to hate on Travis or Taylor Swift that aren't even like Swifties. But it's weird that it's like a good chunk of Swifties now. From the beginning, but they're just getting louder. But like, it's funny, it's laughable because this is just evidence of the fact that people will take cherry pick any tiny little thing
Mm-hmm.
and make it something that it isn't. And it's so clear. Jason Kelsey even had to
Had to
retweet
tweet. I know.
about it or tweet about it. Sorry. And Taylor Swift doing that. It's like, this is why like people on the internet, and it spills over to real life, of course, like conversations in real life, but like you just like when people say you have to go touch grass, like go touch grass. Like why?
Literally.
I know people could say the same to us, like why are you so invested in this relationship and this and that, but like we're just here having fun and enjoying the happiness.
We're happy she's
Um
happy.
and
That's all.
and that's that, and like invest in the relationship, sure, but like why are you like obsessing over in
It's
an angry
also,
way and trying to tell Taylor Swift what to do and how to live her life, and
it's,
like
yeah, I
it's
agree.
so weird.
And it's also funny because obviously I understand that Travis is a big man, so he can drink a lot of alcohol. But like we have seen Taylor more drunk on more occasions
Yeah.
that they've been together in the last few months than Travis.
And what about Taylor chugging her drink at
That's what I
the
mean.
Super
Like,
Bowl?
and Jason Kelsey chugging everything in sight
Right.
at the football games. Like it's just weird. I mean, of course, people are going to hate on everything.
No, but it's just proof of like people are trying to use these little things as evidence and they're not getting the full context. So it just
I
kind of,
also like it's just so crazy to me too because like it's the people that obviously don't like them together or want her to be with someone else. Literally even saying like, "Oh, we miss Joe," and it's like we didn't know Joe in the slightest. Like I don't understand how we can do that,
yeah,
but
how could
whatever. It's
you,
just because you don't like Travis and you
right. And
whatever.
they're like joke
But I just
fans all
don't
of a
get it too
sudden.
because I'm like, to
They were,
me, it's glaringly obvious how happy she is right now.
right.
Like, let's just not be
I,
annoying.
I wonder if it just becomes this dangerous thing because Taylor's not only appeal, but a big part of her appeal to us is her relatability. And she says that through her storytelling. And that's what's part of what makes her such a great writer. Where sometimes we really love a certain book or whatever because we really relate to the protagonist or a certain character, and we kind of see a little bit of ourselves in that. And Taylor does that so much that and there's so many different types of people that love Taylor Swift because we're all able to relate to her lyrics, but in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And so, because she writes autobiographically to a certain extent, we then, and I say we, not meaning that all of us do this, not even meaning that we do this, but we then, it's hard to separate the art from the artist because she's putting herself into her art. And like, we forget that like her personal life is not the part that we need to relate to. The personal life is not like Taylor. I hope that the next album is pop or all sad. I really love the sad songs. Like, oh, I'm disappointed. I like Red better than that. That's one thing to talk about. Like, I relate to these kinds of songs more, and I really hope there's love
Mhm.
songs because I want a nice love song that I can use. And shit, can she stop writing depressing shit or whatever it is? That's one thing to do, right? Because the art is for us. Taylor Swift's life is not for us, and it's hard, I think, to separate that because her work, she talks about her life. But that's the part we're supposed to say, have these opinions on and takes and whether we like them or
Mhm.
not and whatever it is. Her real life or her actual personal life, even though it is in the public eye, is not something that we can feel slighted by because it does not fit our
Right.
narrative of what we want to see from Taylor. Now, I maybe like right now, the people that love it, like you and I, this is, relatable to us. Like the girl gets like whatever it is. But the people that are really, really hating on the relationship that are Taylor Swift fans are because like that's not who they see Taylor Swift to be in her
Mhm.
songs and her lyrics. And they are really frustrated that the way that they see themselves in Taylor's music is not how Taylor is living out her life, if that makes sense. But
No,
it's
it
like,
does.
it's totally okay that you relate to Taylor's music through your life and you're supposed to do that in a totally different way. And Taylor have it completely like it means something different to Taylor Swift. Just what we were talking about. Like Lover is a denial song now to her, but it does not have to be for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that's where I think this like anger where people are just like get a grip on reality. She is not your plaything. Like
Well,
yes,
it's
we're
yeah, I
excited, but
mean,
that's I'm not going to be I didn't love when she was dating Maddie Healy, but I'm not going to write a big think piece about Taylor.
but
I
at the
think we
same
should break
time,
up.
like it's those situations are even so different in the sense that like Maddie Healy had done some pretty offensive shit very openly. Do you know what I mean? Where like people maybe could have more of an opinion because he actually does seem like a genuinely horrible person. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
I do, and I do know what you mean, but I do also think that there's a lot of I don't care for Maddie Healy, and like I didn't like him, but like I still think that there's misconceptions with like cherry
no,
picking
I
things that
agree.
he
And I mean,
said,
let's be
similar to
frank.
what
The
people
people
do to
that don't
Travis.
like Taylor, like Travis Kelce, also didn't like Maddie Healy because he's not a woman.
Yeah,
Those are the people, and I get it because people create a parasocial relationship with her, even though none of us know her in real life. And they relate to her song so deeply that they're like, it has to be about the same situation that
right.
the
The
same
way that I
thing.
view the song, yeah.
Right. So it's like, I understand why it might feel weird if she isn't doing the exact same things you are. But
And
yeah,
like
but the beauty of Taylor Swift is that she can make anything relatable, and you just have to look at it that way through her music, not necessarily
not her
right through
real
how she lives her
life.
life.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's just frustrating because I feel bad for Taylor Swift because she obviously does see that stuff and it's just like, damn, like she's just let her exist. Just let her exist. Like talk
Yeah.
about her music, but just let her exist and don't um I don't know. I feel bad, but like of course we do it on the other side of it of like being excited. But like
Yeah.
again, I'm not going to then be angry with Taylor, like say they break up, right? Yeah, I'm gonna be devastated. I was devastated when Jonah Alwyn and Taylor broke up because I didn't fully get it. But like, am I gonna be angry with her and genuinely write these like think pieces about how horrible it is and how
Right.
she's doing the wrong thing or the right thing or this or that the songs and no,
Well, it's like the same. I mean, right? Because like when her and Joe Alwyn first broke up, everybody was so sad, but like sad for her because from what we knew, what could have gone wrong,
right?
Like, but then obviously as you uncover more of the different, like, you're losing me and things like that start to come out when she wrote it. Like it gets you to understand. I guarantee you, if her and Travis Kelce break up, if I'll be sad about it
Yeah,
because she seems so happy right now,
right.
like genuinely seems so happy. But then if she writes a song that tells me what happened
Yeah, you'll
and
move
it's not
past it.
great, I'd be like, okay, all
She's
right,
either like, damn, I'm so sad because she's still really sad about it, or like, oh,
right,
she's accepted it and moved on.
right,
Like, we're sad because we're like, damn, we don't want the person that we like see this great. You don't want anybody to feel sad. You feel sad that somebody else is feeling sad. And like, I felt sad for
exactly.
Taylor Swift when her and Joe and Alwyn broke up because it seemed like it was this great love and it was real and it was whatever. And it was all of those things at a certain point. But like, then once I saw that she was happy and moved on, I'm like, oh, I'm not so sad anymore. And now I'm actually really excited about the next thing. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean,
you also don't you do you see all this stuff too that people are like, what the hell is wrong with everybody? The second they break up, you're gonna flip just like you guys flipped on Joe Alwyn. We're this and that. You guys are such hypocrites. But it's like, again, we are not this is not a TV show. Like, we're not hypocrites. It's called like life. That's like how life works.
and
You
I
move
was
on
also
from a
gonna say,
situation.
like, nobody flipped on Joe Alwyn until You're Losing Me came out.
Yeah.
And even then, like,
Well,
I think I said it when we were talking about it another time, like, I didn't really like have any opinion of him as a person because we didn't know him like
yeah.
at all. I was sad when they broke up because I was sad for her because the songs she wrote about him made it seem like that was her forever love and I was sad she didn't have it.
Right.
anymore. But like that's like pretty like I don't hate Joe Alwyn. I just
No.
don't. I don't care enough about him. I
No. I
love
think
Travis
that
Kelce right now, but that's mainly because he makes Taylor Swift happy.
yeah, and I don't hate Joe Alwyn, but I don't like based on what we think that we know about him. Yeah, I'm not like I was never a fan of his, but yeah, I don't have like a good taste in my mouth for Joe Alwyn. But like at the end of, I don't really give a shit at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Just like in terms of conversation and comparing it, but like I'm not out here being like, look at how evil Joe Alwyn is.
Right.
Which by the way, there are people doing that too.
But then there's
Like we
also the
gotta
same
separate
people that don't like
ourselves.
Travis Kelce are the ones that are like, she should still be with Joe. Like, I
Yeah.
can't believe this. And it's like, guys, we need to chill.
I know it's where it gets the fandom and like whatever gets like a little bit too you're trying so hard to be a part of Taylor's life that you're almost like moving past it and not living in
I
reality.
was
And
gonna
it's like,
say,
come
and
on.
I was you know that like survey we filled out about like being a Swift, like
Oh
the
yeah.
research thing.
Yes.
I literally didn't realize how much I hate this fandom until I was filling out
Mhm.
that survey, and I was like, because it was about the fandom, it wasn't about her. I
Right.
thought it was about her before I started reading the questions, and I was like, oh boy, here I go. And I was literally just like, I love album releases. I love the week of an album release. I love the weeks after because we're talking about her music. We're not talking about her personal.
Right.
Like, and we're not obsessing over her as a person. We're obsessing over her songs. And I was like, if I could find the right Swifties that don't like, obviously I love like, you know, what we're seeing from her relationship, but
Yes.
like I talk about Joe Alwyn in respect to what we're getting through her songs and like what we think is
Right.
happening because of the lyrics she's telling us about. Like I'll probably talk about Travis Kelce less the second we get an album with him on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, or it'll be like in that context. I was like, man, I really just like love her music and I want to talk about her music.
I
Like
know.
it's
And
hard.
I said in that interview too, I kind of took it a different way. I said like there were a bunch of different questions, but one thing I said was like the positive part of the fandom I see is like Facebook groups. I have a great time
Or like
in
at
Facebook groups.
concerts.
I said like I didn't even meet new Swifties at concerts. Like I didn't. I mean,
I
we had
didn't
like
mean it
talked to
from like
people.
personally, but I mean like the
Yeah,
friendship bracelet stuff, like,
right. Like
you
that's
know,
sweet
that
and
kind
all
of
that stuff.
thing.
But like the rest of the media, it's just it's insane. But like our Facebook groups, like we were able to meet people in real life because of those groups. And the Facebook groups are actually what made me become part of the like make myself say like no, I'm actually a Swiftie. I'm not just a big fan of Taylor Swift and her music. Like I see myself as a Swiftie. Um, but anything outside of Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, it's but it's also one of those things because she's so famous and once that happens it just gets out of control.
Yeah.
But regardless, let's just I love Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Yeah. I mean,
Bottom
as long as
line.
they're happy,
Yes,
which
as
they
long
look
as they
happy, I'm in.
agree.
And I love
Agree.
the football world colliding.
It's so fun. And I really want her to do an interview and I really want there's something with Jimmy Fallon, but I don't know if she's on it or he's just doing like a segment. But it does say the release day 11 p.m. It says Torture Post Department. I just don't know
Hmm.
what that means. But like I really want her to do an interview. Like she hasn't done like an interview. I know she did like the magazine interviews and stuff, but I mean like video interview when they're like how Travis is answering questions about Taylor. Like I want to hear
Oh, I
her
know.
talk about him.
Well, it's funny because everybody thinks she's going to go on New Heights tomorrow. Everybody thinks she's going to go on New Heights every week, but they were like,
And that never has.
oh, well, it's release week. Like maybe that's the interview she'll give, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and I
Oh my
think they
God.
did tweet something, and I know it's just to maybe mess with people, but it was like, oh, big guest tomorrow or something,
Oh my God.
you
That
know?
would
Like,
Steph, I'll die. I don't like I can't. If she's on the
like, okay.
podcast.
So I don't know where this was tweeted, maybe Snapchat. Travis is giddy about this week's guest revealed tomorrow. And do you see this? Like,
Ah,
I don't know. Because yeah,
imagine,
the
but that would
quote
make
tweet on that
sense.
is like the tweet on that is realistically no way, but also realistically it's promo week and she wore the hat.
She wore the hat. It's a hint. It's an Easter egg. It makes sense. Like, who are you going to choose? You're the biggest person in the world right now. She's never done a podcast. It would be her first like long form like podcast.
Why
Like,
the fuck not?
it's like, it's not going to, like, there's as much reason for it to 100% happen as there is for it to be so unrealistic. Like, and
100%.
I don't know what side I'm leaning towards,
I
but I
know.
fucking hope that
That'd be so fucking crazy.
it would be so crazy.
The promo that she would get for Tortured Poets would be crazy. And
It would
New Heights
blow up. Both
obviously.
of them would blow up. Like, come
Yeah.
on. I know people are like PR, like all those same people, and like I get it, but like take that opportunity. Like, okay,
That would be
yeah.
so fun.
And, but it's also gonna then feed the people like, oh, like that is with the New Heights hat. Like, oh, surprise, surprise, she wore it and it's not sold out. And you guys are saying it's
So
not
stupid.
a PR
Maybe if you weren't
relationship.
complaining about him chugging a beer, she wouldn't have to wear the hat. But here we are. Okay, should we wrap up?
We should wrap up. We
All right,
absolutely
everybody.
should.
The next
Oh,
time
this is
the next time you see us or hear us, we will have Tortured Poets Department in our lives.
in our brains, in our hearts, and in our minds.
Just a few more days. Just a few more days. Everybody buckle up. And
Buckle
pick
up.
up your stuff.
Yep.
Because we are dropping our mics.
Now.